wonderful person. I was just talking to myself apparently for a while because I didn't know I have to press go live on the stream button. How are you doing? I hope everyone is fine. Let me just check if everything is working because it wasn't working a few minutes ago. I was actually just talking for like 2 minutes, asking questions, and then turns out I wasn't even online. Ha! Streaming, right? So much different. Anyway, welcome. Let me just double check that it works this time. It looks like it is working. Huh. I'm just gonna wait for some comments to see if people acknowledge my existence here. Alright, people are saying hello. Hello everyone! So, honestly, 500,000 of you. That is insane. If you had told me this a few years ago, I would not only not believe you, I would be like, what? Why would people want to hear me talk about science all the time? Most people in real life just kind of walk away, you know? They never really come back afterwards. When I talk about dinosaur bones, people just kind of like phase out. Alright, hey, it's working, ha! So there's actually a delay apparently. I realized that because the servers are in the US and I'm streaming from Asia, it takes about 13 seconds, I calculated yesterday. So, that is cool, everything seems to be working. Let me just try to change the... Wow, this is so slow. I haven't streamed in forever, so I do not know how most of this works anymore. Last time I streamed was actually, I think it was an interview with Fraser Cain, and I still managed to screw up because I don't know the technicals here. Let's see if we can we just remove this? Oh yeah, look, it's a planet. Can you guess a planet? What planet is it? It's a TRAPPIST planet. TRAPPIST 3, I think. So I mean TRAPPIST 1c, the third planet from the start. So, cool. People are chatting. That's awesome. I'm super happy that most of you could not make it, actually, because that would be pretty embarrassing. I don't think I'm ready to expose myself to 500,000 streamers or stream viewers. But some of you are here. I know that for some of you it's like nighttime right now. And for the other ones, it's either morning or possibly even afternoon like me. But yeah, awesome. So let's look at some questions. I actually did have a plan for today, but then I think it's not going to go well to the plan. So we'll win it. Love your channel so much. Been watching for 6 years. Thank you so much, Mad Planet Guy. I love that you love it. It's actually insane that someone stayed here for 6 years. I don't think I've ever did anything for... Actually, no, that's not true. I've watched some shows for 6 years. So... Oh, wow, there's a lot of comments that have been hidden. I mean... Why? I need to have a way to moderate this easier. This is interesting. Alright, so YouTube has actually changed quite a lot in the last few years, so that's why I'm having trouble figuring this out, because the new streaming system is completely different. There's all these buttons everywhere, and I don't know what I have to click. Hello from Canada! Hey, I'm Canadian too. By birth, not by current location. So... Did I have a speech for this? I didn't actually have a speech. Should I have a speech? No. I'm too modest for that. I don't like speeches. But anyway, thank you so much, all of you. Honestly, I'm super grateful for just having this opportunity to have, I guess, people interested in science. It's really nothing about my personality or me personally, or even the channel, even though it's named after me. My whole goal for the past few years was to try to expose people to science and discoveries that most people don't hear about. Even though there are a lot of different news outlets out there, honestly, I feel like most people do not really go to them unless you kind of bring it in a fun format. And, you know, I'm still trying to reinvent the channel, make it a little bit more accessible to everyone, but it'll probably take a while. I just subscribed. Yay, new subscriber. You're number 500,456. I'm just guessing. So, cool. I've been a fan of space for whole life. Yay, me too. Hey. Greetings from Poland. Hello, Zoltar. Potential moderator here. I honestly do not know how to have people moderate. This is way beyond my comprehension right now. I am not a streamer. So, therefore, maybe one day we'll figure it out. If this goes well, maybe we'll stream again. I actually did have a plan for a stream where I kind of teach people how to, for example, here, let me show you. How to use, can you see this? Is this visible? Let me check. Where's my... Oh yeah, okay. So this is This is NASA, I guess, well, it's an exoplanet archive, but it's also an archive of different observations over the years. And you can actually literally go there and like look for planets, which some people have done in the past. Very recently, I think I made a video about 2 weeks ago about a planet that we just discovered in the catalog that was there this whole time. Nobody's seen it, and someone went in and they found it, and that's cool. I thought it was cool. I mean, if you were into that, then maybe you can check it out. I can actually show you today how to do this. It's not very difficult. Okay, no, it is difficult, but it's fun. Okay, it's not fun. It's unusual. It's different. Austin, Texas. Hey, that's where my cousin lives. Hello, cousin. I know you're not watching because you're not into science. Congrats. Thank you. Wow, a lot of people from the US I see. Awesome. Republic of Panama. That's awesome. That's really cool. That's one place I've never been to. You need Neil deGrasse Tyson live with you. I wish that I could have that. It's really funny. So because I grew up in Quebec, in French Canada, and because my family is originally from the USSR, so I kind of have these two upbringings that are not American, I actually had no idea who Neil deGrasse Tyson was until I was like in my, I think, early 20s in the university. That's when I found out who he was. I had no idea who he was. It's a little bit embarrassing. Most people know about him from childhood. But that's because it's a very sort of, I think, English North American culture. Most people from, I would say, Asia or Europe, parts of Europe, would not know who he is either. Awesome, so many people. I love it. Cool. So what should we do? I'll take some questions, I guess. But also, let's take a look at this. I hope my I don't actually know if my thing is out of sync. Congrats, Anton. Stay safe and greetings from Brazil. Hey, obrigado. That's pretty much the limit of my Portuguese, Brazilian. So, cool. Thank you so much for $5. I love it. By the way, all the donations for the day are going to go to there's a local shelter that deals with dogs, and I've been supporting them for a while. So it's going there. It's going to a good cause. Are you fluent in Russian? I'm actually not fluent in anything. It's really, really embarrassing. I used to be fluent in French, to some extent Russian, and to some extent English. But because I've been living in South Korea, and because I've actually been away from these languages for a long time, I sort of forgot most of them, like, embarrassingly a lot. Love the science and space videos every day. Yay, me too! Love making them every day. Thank you so much. Been watching for 5 years from New Zealand. Holy cow, 5 years. That's really, really impressive. Thank you so much for all your support. This is really cool. Your sound is, my audio is out of sync. Oh no, that's not good. Let me try to hear it. Let me try to see if I can hear myself. Oh yeah, it is out of sync. Uh-oh. Okay, so I'll have to figure this out maybe for next time. I've been struggling with this for like 40 minutes before the stream. I think it's because okay, there's two reasons for this. One is because I'm streaming from Linux, because I've been using the Linux for the past 5 years. And also because my microphone and my video are going through different channels, so it's a bit complicated. Do you know Korean extremely well? No, I do not, embarrassingly so. I do not speak Korean very well at all. Love your videos, love watching you pretty much every day. Thank you so much, keep amazing work. I'll try. I love dogs, me too! Keep it up, thank you so much guys, thank you, or girls, or everyone. Every gender is welcome. So, why was I showing you this? Oh yeah, so this is the catalog of planets. Let me just quickly go through this so you can at least try this. I'll actually add links to this in the description so you can try it yourself. But here's how easy it is to go and look for planets if you have enough knowledge to go through statistics of looking for planets. I knew someone was going to ask this. What are your thoughts on the Pentagon announcing UFOs are real? I'd rather not say anything. I mean, it is UFOs, but it's not aliens, so that's my thoughts. There's actually a really, really good explanation someone provided on one of the YouTube channels. I wish I remember who it was. Thanks for giving the dog shelter. Oh, yeah. Oh, by the way, Yoda, that you might have seen previously in one of the videos, he was technically for my father. So he had a dog. I wonder if I have him. Do I have it here somewhere? Oh yeah, it's. I don't know. If, let me see if I can show you. It's a very dirty cup. I'm really embarrassed. So I'm gonna try to show you. My dad used to have a dog, and his dog passed away last year. And so I got him a new dog. That's right there. That's his old dog. That's his old dog. So now he has a new dog, and it's Yoda. Yoda lives with him. I wish I could have a dog in this building. Unfortunately, it's not allowed. So I can't have a dog. But yeah, cool. Okay. Okay, good. Okay. Do you know Korean makes another video in English? I don't know. Huh? Sorry, I don't understand the question. Do you know Korean makes another video in English? No, I don't. Hey, that you got out of that question. Someone said David Kipping. David Kipping is a really cool guy. He also has a channel. Oh, that's not his channel. Sorry, that's not. David Kipping did not talk about UFOs. There's a smaller YouTuber who talked about. He actually really thoroughly analyzed the whole UFO videos, mostly because he has a thorough knowledge and understanding of military airplanes. And in short, it's basically it was just a perspective and the actual frequency of airplanes. Okay, let me see if I can actually show you. I did save the video somewhere. I probably will not be able to find it. But for that UFO thingy, it's just the camera. It's literally the camera. UFO Pentagon. I wonder if I can. No, it's gonna be hard to find it now. But anyway, so basically this other guy, he actually filmed an actual military airplane taking off using the same camera, and it looks exactly like the videos you saw. Like exactly, like there's no difference. Why do you live in South Korea? Why not? Where else would I live? I mean, I could live in Canada, I guess. But I used to live there for most of my life, and then I got a job here that was way better. Okay, honestly, it is related to just the job situation in general. When I graduated, it was practically the last recession. There were no jobs in Canada, and most specifically, there were no jobs in what I wanted to do, which is teaching. And there is actually still, I believe, no jobs in teaching in Canada. It's very unfortunate. And so I had to choose. Either I change careers again, or I go and try that same career somewhere else. And I did that. And Korea was hiring at the time, and the jobs here were really good. I was teaching here for approximately 9 years, I think. Yeah, 10 years. So that's really why, just jobs. And eventually, I started a family here. Also, one reason I'm not in Canada anymore is because, as some of you who have been on the channel for a while probably know that, well, one of the main reasons I started making videos so regularly was actually a kind of a coping mechanism, because my mom passed away in 2014, and that year was absolutely horrible for me. A lot of bad things happened to me in 2014, and so during that time, I basically just kind of improvised. I tried new things, started making videos just to kind of feel better. And eventually it picked up, and now we have this. And because I have no family in Canada anymore, my father also moved. So there's really, I wish I could go back, but maybe one day. You grew so fast. Thank you. I grew so fast. I'm actually pretty short, according to my family. They make fun of me. Hi from Southern California. That's where my other cousin lives. Hello to you too. So, what grade do I teach? What subjects? I used to teach. Right now, I've been taking a break for, I think, 1.5 years, mostly because I really wanted to see if I can just do the whole YouTube thing. It was really hard to do both jobs at the same time. But I was teaching grades 9, 10, 11, and then the last 2 years I was teaching grade 12, and that was tough. Mostly because it's just discouraging how people become so cynical. But it was fun. It was a good 9 years of my life. So yeah. Oh my god, it's so hard to read so fast. I love the comments though. Okay. Why is it so hard for science people to believe in aliens? I don't not believe in aliens. I believe in aliens. I just don't believe that those videos were aliens. I think that's kind of how most people think about it. It's just, the evidence was just not enough. My favorite book. Oh, that's hard. Okay, totally not science. It's Lord of the Rings. It's definitely Lord of the Rings trilogy. What happened to his dog? His dog was too old. My father's dog passed away because it was like 10 years old, and it was a German Shepherd, so they basically just kind of don't live very long. Thank you for being trusted source of space news. Oh, you're welcome. I hope I am. Sometimes I make mistakes. Oh, someone is saying rest in peace to my mom, and that she was probably a wonderful person. Yeah, she was great. My mom was amazing. Do you have a Patreon? Yeah, I do have a Patreon. I always mention it at the end of the video, and people told me I should mention it in the beginning. But honestly, Patreon is a cool addition, but I mean, I don't really expect people to go and give me money for nothing. My family actually helps me with Patreon a little bit, in the sense that they help me tell me when there's a comment I have to reply to. Mostly because it is super overwhelming. So some of you may not know, I'm doing this alone. Like, there's no editor, there's no scriptwriter, there's no video maker. There's my family that helped me just a little bit, and also me. And doing this by myself is a little bit challenging, mostly because of the amount of comments I have to reply to. But I honestly love it. It's a very, very hard job. It's the most difficult job I've ever had, but it's fun. Oh, hey, we have this NASA Exoplanet archive we've never accessed. So while I'm reading comments and trying to do this at the same time, multitasking, let's take a look at this. This is a cool planet. So if you ever wanted to look for planets by yourself, because why wouldn't you, right? Here's how it's done. Let me just move this a little bit. What is my favorite movie? Blade Runner. It is Blade Runner. No contest. Blade Runner 1. Oh, I'm sorry, I missed someone's chat earlier. Robert Flores, please repeat your question. I missed a lot of chats. I'm sorry. Thank you so much for donation, KB Chef. So here, if I enter the so-called, I'm from Hong Kong. That's awesome. I love Hong Kong. I'm really sorry what you're going through right now, guys, but it's tough. It's gonna be tough with China trying to exert its power. It's gonna be tough. So here, let me just click on this. Oh boy. Okay. Wow, it's a lot harder than you think to be able to read so quick, and then also try to reply to everything. My brain is a little bit overwhelmed right now. That's why I don't stream. I cannot possibly do this at the same time. Do I stream often? I used to stream. I used to stream once a week because I was desperately trying to become a gaming channel, space gaming channel. And that didn't work. I was really bad at it. Mostly because I was playing Alien Isolation. Some of you might remember. I still haven't finished it. It was absolutely terrifying. The game was terrifying. What? The name doesn't exist. What are you talking about? Huh. Okay, so let's see if I missed some important questions here. Here we go. Are you a Russian Canadian living in South Korea? I guess that's the way to define it. Hey, Monique, #1 fan. 10,001. Someone from Korea. Someone I know. Huh? But someone I will say nothing about because this person is very shy. Okay, so let's try this again. Oh, maybe I can enter Tress 2. Oh, someone's asking me something in Russian, but I need to... Russian is more difficult for me to read. Are there any news about life? Where? Oh, alien life. No, there's no news. You will be the first to know. I'll be very quick at making the video if there's any news. This stream is even too fast for single tasking. No, kidding. I definitely agree. Oh, someone's asking me, how old are you? Hey, don't ask that question. That's rude. Actually, I don't care. I am... What am I? I need to calculate because nobody ever asks that. I'm 37, I think. Yeah. I think I'm 37. Are you Canadian? Yes, technically. Okay, so if you ever want to find a planet and you would like to go and check it out by yourself on the website I'll be posting later, here is a very famous hot Jupiter known as Tress 2b. you can kind of see that there's quite a lot of discoveries about it already. But there's actually a really cool way to look for planets using this by going to... I don't see it anymore. Uh-oh, I picked difficult to see planet. Oh, okay. Have you played Kerbal's Space Program? That's really funny. So, Lunatic Spectre, thank you for $5. And yeah, I've played it a lot. There's an entire list of Kerbal's Space Program videos on the channel. Those were my first videos, actually. I think I made about 100. What do you think of attempt to colonize Mars? I mean, it really depends of what we mean by colonize, I think. Colonize is a word that's sort of negative, as you probably know from history. So, yeah, I agree in scientific colonization terms, but I don't agree with the colonization when it comes to, like, you know, making this a war colony for people to go and work at, because it's probably not going to be very hospitable. So yeah, it's like yes and no. You know, science, cool. Not science, not so cool. What province did you live in? I was from Quebec. I was actually in Montreal. I'm a Montreal boy. A lot of my friends are still there, and I haven't seen them in over 15 years. Adam, thank you so much for the donation from Jacksonville, Florida. My content is not phenomenal. Come on. It can be better. Okay, so I'm totally lost what I was going to do here. It's multitasking and talking and reading at the same time. It is difficult, as they say. And I was actually trying to show you how to do... I think this is... Maybe I'll do this some other time. This is kind of almost impossible right now. Mostly because I am having trouble just multitasking here. Let's submit this. I mentioned a way to find NEOs and dangerous asteroids. I haven't been able to find it. I think it was to find near-Earth objects. Oh yeah, if you what do you mean find? You can. I mean, you could find NEOs and asteroids, but NASA already found most of them. So you can actually go to NASA NEO database. I think I forget what it's called. Yeah, there we go. There's a website called SNEO SNELS. It's called SNELS. And it's basically where you can see all of the near-Earth asteroids. So, okay, so next time someone tells you, oh no, there's an asteroid coming, oh, pack your bags. You go here. Let me see if I can show you the website. If I can maybe move this a little bit, just a little bit here. Here, I guess it's close enough. And this shows you all of the nearby asteroids that, you know, will be coming near us and the chance of their collision. And as you can see, for most of them, so here's close approach, close approach, close approach. And my apologies. And do you think we'll be able to land on Mars? Will we land on Mars? Yes. Will we build it in the next 30 years? Maybe. Most exciting to find using James Webb Telescope. So I think James Webb Telescope is going to be transformational, assuming it works. And I'm really excited about TRAPPIST-1 system and also Proxima Centauri, Proxima b. Could there be a planet or moon outside of Pluto? If you're talking about Planet 9, I have my doubts about it, mostly because there are so many other explanations that explain the same thing without Planet 9. So I personally don't think so. But if it is there, then cool, but it doesn't change anything. We'll never get there. It's too far. Can I link this on the chat? Yes, I can. Here's the website. I didn't think I should. I didn't think of this. Too slow. Should have done this earlier. Cool. What do you think is beyond the universe? More universe. I think there was a video I made about the size of the universe. And so the current estimate for, so there's an observable universe. Oh, let me see if I can find a visual aid for you. There's observable universe. Sort of looks like this. Oh yeah, this is a really cool picture. I love this picture. Someone made this a few years ago. I don't remember what his name is though, but he posted this as a kind of a free resource for people. This is the logarithmic scale of observable universe. Robert Flores, yes, terraforming Mars not doable. Yeah, it's hard. It will be hard. Even with Elon Musk's stuff, it's going to be hard. But anyway, so yeah, this is the observable universe, but beyond this, there is just more universe, and we think that it's about 500 times as big as this at least. It's a lot more likely that it's much bigger and probably even infinite. It's probably infinite, which is really impossible to imagine. Audio is good. Yay! I love that my audio has improved. I'm having syncing problem though, I think, still. Cool. Oh, is this? Yeah, this is on. What's up with the poles? Are they shifting? I think there was a recent discovery that they are shifting because underneath the poles. Also, there's gonna be a video next week about this, but let's spoil a little bit. Magnetic field of Earth. Magnetic field of Earth is super complicated. Like, most people think it's basically this. It's basically two-sided, but it's not. It's like super complex. There's a lot of stuff going on the inside. It makes it so much more difficult. Like, it's just impossible. And so there are these two blobs underneath northern location of Earth, and one is weakening and one is becoming bigger and stronger, and so it's sort of shifting because of that. Kind of. Okay, let me catch up on some reading here. Good afternoon. Ha ha ha. Are you Russian? You must have missed the previous explanation, but no, technically no. I am technically a French Canadian, but that's a big technicality. Will I ever prepare a show tailored for kids? Oh my god, that question is breaking my heart. So, I was actually planning a show for kids. There was a show that I was planning for about a year where I was going to make just short animations, very simple stuff for kids to kind of explain things, how the universe works, how space works. The problem is, as you probably know, YouTube has created this new thing called YouTube for Kids, and they basically demonetized most of the children channels. There was another children channel I was following, they were doing a great job, and I was just trying to see what worked, what didn't. And they stopped making videos now because they just could not afford to hire an animator. They could not afford to do anything really, because YouTube has made this impossible for children channels to survive. And so it still might come in the future if I find a very efficient, cheap way to do this, but without hiring an animator, for example, is no way I can do it. Or without hiring someone who can actually help me with the children content. I think infinite universe is easier to imagine than finite universe. How could there be an edge? How can there be nothing without space there? I totally agree with that. And actually, this is really crazy, but I think when I was like 6 or 7 or something, and I had all these questions about space, I asked my mom, so mom, is space really sort of infinite? And I think she just wanted to make me stop asking questions. So she's like, yeah, it's infinite. Go to bed. And I did. I went to bed and I couldn't sleep because I tried to imagine. I was trying to fly through space and imagine what it would be like to fly through infinite space, and it drove me crazy. And I think maybe that's what started my whole exploration of space. It's a thought that's difficult to imagine, but it's right now it's the possibility that space is infinite. Okay, true. I wanted to make kids videos, but making money is important. It did come out that way, maybe. That's not what I was trying to say. It's basically I could not afford to make videos without having it bring in something to actually cover those videos. That's what I was trying to say. I know it came out wrong, but what can you do? And when I say like YouTube demonetize those videos, it actually, I think the typical children channel now makes about 5% of a typical YouTube channel, or 10% or something like that. It's ridiculous. And considering that my channel doesn't really make enough to cover staff, like I cannot even hire an animator, it would be impossible to do. Roger Penrose talks about infinite universe problem. I think he nailed it. I really like Roger Penrose some thoughts that he has about the universe, but sometimes he goes really on the curve. and sometimes it's hard. It's hard to agree with him on everything, and that's kind of, I think most people think that the same way. Okay, what is happening here? I don't know what I was showing you. Hey, here is a planet somewhere. TRAPPIST. Yay. Let's see if I can move this a little bit. Hey, fellow Montrealer, an animal lover. Yay. Thank you for the donation. You spotter. Oh, that's cool. YUL is the Montreal airport. So you're the airplane spotter. That's awesome. It's an interesting hobby. I actually live next to a military airport, so I used to do that for fun. But apparently it's illegal. I didn't get in trouble, but I shouldn't have done this. It's illegal to spot military airplanes in South Korea. Mostly because they're afraid of North Korea finding out. At the rate you're growing, you should be able to hire an animator. And how many million? So, yeah, I think next year I'll be able to hire one animator. But you know, it's actually difficult to find good animators that are willing to do crazy ideas. So we'll see how it goes. It's still a plan and working. So one thing I should have said, I did not abandon the idea of children's channel. It's still being worked on. Mostly because that's basically my passion. I want to teach kids, and doing so through videos is something I really want to do. I just don't know how to do it yet efficiently, and being alone doing this, it's hard. Crazy Uncle Bob, congratulations. How do neutron stars have magnetic fields when they are neutral? They're not neutral, they're neutron. But yeah, good question. Magnetic fields are formed when, well, normally they're formed when metallic material spins around and produces electric field. And inside a neutron star, because they're spinning so fast usually, and also because there's a lot of highly magnetized material, they basically, as they spin, they produce ridiculous fields. Like, these are the most powerful magnets in the universe. Can we find one here? Let's see if we can find one. I can try to see if I can find one in the Cygnus system. What's your favorite exoplanet? Mine is Captain B. Captain B is a really cool planet. It used to be the closest planet to us that was habitable potentially. But then we found Proxima Centauri, and so Captain B lost that status. But it's still a really cool planet. I really like all. I think I really like all of the red dwarf planets, but Proxima Centauri B is definitely. It's one of those planets I would really love to see one day in real life. Well, it probably will never happen. Okay, is this a neutron star? I think it is. So here. Oh, too close. Let's try to approach it. Oh, too close. Here's a neutron star, right? And it actually spins really fast. So if I enable this, this is not real time. It spins really fast, and this is like 14 kilometers in diameter. So you can imagine that things here move ridiculously fast, and this is why these produce very strong magnetic fields. Okay. Wow, this is kind of slower than I usually have it. I think because I have so many things open at the same time, they're making things slow. Someone is saying, count my 5-year-old as your first subscriber for the kids content. Yeah, I really hope to make this happen one day. It's definitely one of those things I'm sort of dreaming about, making some sort of a children channel with science, basically. Any info on the Nancy Grace Roman Space Telescope and how will it compare to Webb? I don't really have much info yet. So some of you might not know, Nancy Grace Roman is technically the mother of Hubble. Let me hold on a second. Let me see if I can do this. If I can do this. Nancy Roman. There she is, with Hubble telescope. She basically kind of was the brains behind it. And she has a telescope named after her now, but I don't know much about it just yet. I know it's going to be a cool telescope though. So that's that. Do you think there might be aliens like us? No, I really don't. The probability of having someone exactly like us somewhere else is like like non-existent. It's just too small. Okay. Okay. Maybe I should move away from the system because it's really slow, huh? Here we go. Here it goes. Oh, hey, look, there's a bigger star. So this is actually what we call an X-ray binary. The smaller neutron star and the larger donor have this dense. They dance around one another, and the neutron star slowly steals the matter from it. And then basically because of that, when the matter gets stolen from the larger star, we get to see the emissions. Do you think dark matter is just dust and gas? Also, thank you for the dedication making YouTube videos. No, thank you for the $4.99. Dear McNeil. So, how do I explain this? My thoughts of dark matter. I'm definitely a believer in dark matter, unlike other scientists or people, but I don't really know what I subscribe to as an explanation. The last study that did the whole dark matter thing, and I really enjoyed reading, was when they explained dark matter as essentially a type of a particle that is really cool, like cold. It's really cold, and it has a really low density, and it forms what's known as a Bose-Einstein Condensate, which is a topic that is almost impossible to explain in 1 minute, but I'll try. Let me see if I can find an animation. So basically, I think that's what it is, but I don't know. Condensate. There was a really cool animation I saw the other day that shows us. Is that someone's channel? No. Let me see if I can find this GIF. Hey, oh yeah, there it is. So this shows you what Bose-Einstein Condensate is. Can you guys see this? Can you girls see this? Here we go. Basically, when you cool something down, like really make it super cold, almost 0 degrees Kelvin, all of the atoms eventually start acting as this one mega thing. They just start acting the same. They create this same pattern across the entire volume, and it has really unusual properties. And the scientists behind that paper discovered that it had very unusual properties similar to dark matter, and so I have a strong belief that maybe we're onto something here. Okay. And those of you, there's a lot of people saying dark matter are black holes. This has actually been disproven many times. Dark matter is probably not black holes. The last study was from Japan, and what they did is they actually looked at, what do you think of Sean M. Carroll? I'm so sorry, Peter. Thank you for the donation. I have no idea who Sean M. Carroll is. I will probably look it up later. I'm also really bad with names. I probably just know who it is, but I don't really know who they are by name. Let me show you the Andromeda. So the way that we discovered or confirmed that the black holes were not dark matter is by doing the following. Okay, here it is. The scientists from Japan, they were looking at the Andromeda galaxy for a pretty long time, but using an extremely fast camera. So the camera that can take pictures really fast. And the idea here was to capture the gravitational lensing effects. You know, the effects that do this? Gravity lens. Let's see if we can find it. Okay. So just the lensing here. This is a cute one. The lensing effect that produces the lens due to the mass in front of the object. But they were looking for the ones that are really fast, like something that's super small, passes in front of it, and it sort of blinks and it disappears. So you need a pretty fast camera for this, and they were using that and looking at the Andromeda, expecting to find at least like a few thousand of these lenses if dark matter were black holes. And they found nothing. They found one, I think. There was one thing that they discovered, and it's actually that one thing is the mystery now. They want to see what caused this, but not black holes, probably, most likely. Can a planet exist in another planet's Lagrange point, like a Trojan asteroid? So it's a really good question, but by definition that we have today, the only way a planet can be a planet is if it has no other planets in the same orbit, which is, I think it's a really silly definition. But no, unfortunately, it can be in the Lagrange point. What do you think is the most interesting mystery of the universe? I think there's just too many to choose from. I would have to say, I guess, just understanding what really happened before the universe started. Some people like Penrose, they do suggest that we had another universe before that, and then it sort of, I guess it shrunk and then it bounced back to existing again. But yeah, that would be nice to know. What is your favorite topic other than science? So I have too many things that I kind of like, but they're all geeky. And I'm sure some of you found this already, but there was a tech channel I started approximately a couple of years ago, because I'm also a programmer, and I've worked as a programmer for a long time. And I was trying to teach people how to program, but apparently people don't want to learn how to program as much as they want to know about science. And I'm still kind of working on the sort of theme of the channel, but it was basically like, geeky stuff, like how to make like for Korea, for example, right now, how to make your own pollution sensor that then activates your cleaning fan that you can also make yourself. And I've been working on that video for that channel for about a month now. It's gonna come out actually, but that channel is just a small one. I don't particularly know where it's going to go yet. It's going to be essentially just geeky programming, techie stuff. Also, you might know, I tried a few times to teach programming on this channel, also unsuccessfully. The last time was actually using Kerbal Space Program. I made a series of videos in Kerbal Space where it was basically how to learn Python by programming your rocket to land like Elon Musk's rocket. It succeeded to some extent, but the videos were just really, they took a long time to make, and I think people were just not into it. I don't know why. I think people... So here's the thing. Here's my thought about programming. It's a must-have skill. Right now, those of you stuck in quarantine, you have a week to learn programming. Go and do it. Start with Python. It's a great language. I think it's a must-have skill. Okay, so let's get back to comments. Is the speed of light constant or not? I keep seeing conflicting information. In other words, does the velocity of its origin matter? Hi from America. Rad Roadbot. I think it's constant. I do not think there's anything that suggests otherwise right now. And honestly, it's kind of the foundation for our science today. So if it's not constant, it's gonna create a lot of problems. Hi Anton. Joan Castro asks, you have fans in Dominican Republic. Have you heard of the theory of Stephen Wolfram? Awesome. Dominican Republic is a country I would love to visit one day. So Stephen Wolfram recently proposed an idea that a lot of physicists did not know how to react to. Thank you so much, Pivachkov. You're amazing too. And the idea was that universe is basically this computer simulation-like structure, has this computer-like structure, and it was an interesting theory. It was a really long. I didn't read through it completely. It was just impossibly long. It was over 400 pages. But he thinks that he can explain the universe as essentially polygons, a collection of polygons that connect to each other, and that's how things form. And this is how the foundation of the universe is. The problem with that idea is that it's just another explanation for what we seem to see with atoms and everything. But the problem that most physicists had with this is that it doesn't really explain anything. It's sort of an additional explanation from a perspective of a computer scientist who worked on polygons his whole life. So someone explained this pretty well when they said that, when Einstein was looking for a universe, his whole idea was mathematical black holes. And so eventually we discovered black holes were real. When Stephen Wolfram was looking at the universe, his idea was computers and computer science. And so he devised this explanation using polygons, using these dots that connect and interact. And I mean, it's not that he's wrong, and it's not that he's right. It makes sense, but it's not an idea that explains anything right now. He proposed it as a kind of a foundation for the future, but at the moment I don't see how it explains much. So once someone rehashes the idea, it makes it a little bit easier to understand, I guess, or to see the importance of this. It might become more useful. Right now, it's a cool idea. It's computers. I like computers. Okay, Raz Ion asks, what is your personal opinion on Bob Lazar's story? Explanation: anti-gravity propulsion element 145. I'm really sorry. I don't know much about this, mostly because I don't know who Bob Lazar is. Maybe I don't remember who he is. My apologies. I'll look it up. If it's something that's cool and scientific, we'll make a video about it. Thank you, Michael, for 20 bucks. I love it. It's gonna go to the dogs in the vicinity. There's a shelter nearby. Hi, Anton. Oh, another one. Bob Lazar. Okay, let's look it up. Do I know him? Who is Bob Lazar? Oh, okay. First, this is why I probably don't know him, because according to Wikipedia, he's a conspiracy theorist. That is probably why I do not know about his ideas. I normally, when I research stuff, I approach it from, I go to Archive, which is this website, although some people pronounce it as Archive, and I look through the names here. If the person had at least one or few papers here, then I look if they were published. And so basically, I kind of do a bit of a background check on a person before I talk about their ideas. If they're a published scientist and people at least consider their ideas to some extent, it's probably worth talking about. If it's someone who just has a thought or opinion, I generally don't do videos about that, simply because I feel like everybody has an opinion, but if it doesn't have support from other scientific people, then, well, it's just an opinion. You know, I used to think that I used to be a big supporter of ideas of like the X-Files show. I thought it was a government conspiracy to hide the aliens this was when I was in high school. But, you know, with time, with research, with exploration of different ideas and thoughts, and seeing proof from different government organizations, I kind of just realized that it's probably not true. There's probably mostly because, you know, the government has trouble hiding the silliest secrets. We can't even hide the simplest secrets. How would you be able to hide aliens as a secret? It's kind of impossible. If you had a laser pointer and you pointed it at the moon and immediately shifted it towards Mars, would the point be traveling faster than light? Baker Boy. Thank you for $5. And to answer this, what you're going to be observing is link, yes. It's basically the it's apparent motion. The what is this channel? Physics channel called. Oh my god, their name escapes me right now. Because someone explained this in one of the videos. They did such a good job. But yeah, it's not traveling faster than light, because what you're seeing is the apparent motion of faster than light travel. It's the same thing we have with light echoes. By the way, there's a video about this coming soon. It's going to be about faster than light motion. So light echo, which was best exemplified by this beautiful formation, V838 Monoceros. So light echoes are essentially when we look at something in space and it seems to be moving faster than the speed of light. In this case, I think it was 4 times faster. And that's basically because what you're looking at is essentially just like a laser pointer. It seems to be moving faster, but it's just because of the way that the light starts shining at different parts of the gas cloud, and it's appearing to move faster. And this is something that's very well known to us. There are at least 3 different cases in space where things appear faster than the speed of light, but they don't move faster than light. And the video about this is coming soon. Okay. Cool. What am I doing in Asia? I live here. That's a funny question. I lived here for about 15 years now, actually. Oh, on and off. I go back and forth here and there. All right, thank you everyone. Thank you for all the comments so far. So everything I planned for this video, for this stream, is going down the hill. Mostly because I was actually going to go and like explore planets and look at different planets, but I did not realize how difficult it was to multitask, read comments, go back to this screen, try to explain something, then read comments again. So it's hard. What is my professional educational background? So I generally don't like answering this question for one simple reason, because it has really nothing to do with anything I do in professional life. I had a very, very poor schooling experience. I was a really, I don't want to say I was a bad student. I was not good at school. My brain did not think the same way as the school intended to think. And because of that, I could never get to like a good school. I could never get, like I am never going to be able to get a PhD in astronomy or astrophysics, simply because of my background, which is inadequate for typical, typical degree. And because of this, I generally don't like answering this. I will, but it has nothing to do with anything. But my educational background eventually became in teaching, because I really enjoyed explaining things to people like me who could not understand school. You know, like when you sit in class, and this really happened to me. I got kicked out of high school because I was just not doing well at all. Like people thought I was special, and I was sitting in class, and the teacher was talking, explaining things, and to me it sounded like noise, and I couldn't really understand anything. Then I realized that I was learning differently, and as I discovered these techniques, that I needed to have simulations, I need to play with things, I need to actually do things differently. I realized that, hey, there are probably other people like me, and so why don't I just start teaching people like that? And that's the route I took. I decided to learn everything myself, like very thoroughly study everything. I studied science, I studied astrophysics. I did a lot of math by myself, completely by myself. I had no teacher, and eventually I just ended up learning stuff and then teaching other people same stuff. That's how I became a teacher. So yeah, no, unfortunately I do not have traditional education. I did go to university. I did really poorly in my undergrad. Same reason, just could not understand anything. But I eventually learned things even better. So there's that. Simply because you can. Today the internet is the best teacher. Like if you can find a way to learn the internet, do it. Actually, here I'm gonna pitch this. This is totally non-sponsored. edX. Go to edX. EDX, is it called EDX? This is where I literally learned like most of the cool stuff. I learned programming here. I learned how to program in C++. I didn't know how to do it. Now I'm fairly decent. So just go and do some courses. They're so good. A lot of them are. It's all free. It's a free education site, and I love this idea. They did kind of try to monetize it a little bit more now, but it's still pretty free. There's a lot of stuff. The Microsoft courses, which, I would never think of promoting Microsoft, but they made amazing courses in programming. Can I casually talk on the life in Saturn idea? Okay, so life on Saturn itself is possible, and I think I briefly mentioned this recently when I talked about the hydrogen planets, but it would be probably in the clouds, and currently we have no sign of it. But there is probably, very likely, most likely, hopefully, life on the moon of Saturn, known as Titan. And I'm putting a lot of bets on this. I'm hoping we'll find it one day. So Titan, beautiful Titan, is I sometimes refer to it as the most Earth-like. Ooh, this is so slow. Why is it so slow? Wow, super slow. I guess this is not working well because I have so many things running. So yeah, Titan is basically the most Earth-like non-planet. It has atmosphere, very thick atmosphere, thicker than Earth. It has liquid cycle. It has atmospheric stuff going on, unusual signs of methane. So yeah, life is most likely there, but we need to discover it. Gabriel asks, are you fluent in Korean? No, I'm unfortunately not. I tried to learn it several times, and once again, because of the way people were teaching me, I couldn't get it. And then I eventually realized I had enough Korean to kind of go through my regular life, but most of my work here was always in English. So I didn't really need to learn Korean. I wish I would, but it's hard. Korean is really hard. William says, thank you for what I do. No, thank you, William, for the support. Like, I'm honestly, if I didn't have people supporting me, at least to some extent, and if this was all people telling me not to do this, and this is the worst idea ever, which people have been doing in the past, I would probably give up pretty quickly. It's hard to do something when people are not supportive. Ooh, why did I open Facebook? Huh. Okay. It's slow because I'm live streaming, and also because I think I have like 10 different windows open right now. Okay. Can I talk about Uranus or any... that's not funny. That's not funny. You're not funny. It's a little funny. I giggled on the inside. No, I can't talk about it. Okay, Beetlejuice Star asked me if I am Russian, and my family is from USSR. We immigrated to Canada a long time ago. So my background is like Slavic, I guess. But no, I'm Canadian. I'm purebred. Thank you so much, J. Mark Morris. Thank you for the donation. So, do I think humans will travel to Mars in the near future? I mean, I've covered this briefly, but yeah, I hope so. I hope we go to Mars. I hope we make it there. I really hope that it doesn't turn into some sort of like a war colony for people to go where they have no other jobs. That would be the worst, because imagine... Okay, so, personal story. When I graduated from university, and because it was during the recession, there were like no jobs anywhere, I ended up going to north parts of Canada, like really far beyond the tree line. And I used to work, like I've never really done pure labor before. I worked as a painter a few times, but I moved there to work on the actual diamond mine, like pure labor, like with okay, they didn't have pickaxes, but it was hard work. It was a lot of lifting. It was a lot of really, really tough environment. Things would get like from, minus 10 degrees Celsius suddenly to like plus 20 Celsius, whatever it is in Fahrenheit. The weather was unpredictable. There was so many bugs. And I did this for like 6 months. And then I looked back at it and I thought to myself that this was a good experience, but never again. So imagine that, but way worse on Mars. I don't think it would be fair to people to do this. It would not be fair at all. So if we go there, it's better be robots, like just doing stuff, and then we come there and it's nice and relaxing. It's kind of like Bahamas or something. But I'm sure something will happen eventually with Mars, but I'm just not sure who's gonna make it there first. And as you probably know, China is going there in July. NASA is going there too, but China is really trying to be first to essentially land people there. Okay. Is there a playlist for the music I feature in my videos? Oh, okay. So, thank you for the donation, Sean. So, the music in the playlist, the music in the videos is actually the free music YouTube provides for everyone. I can definitely post them somewhere though. I think I will. I'll make a few videos, just like relaxing videos, post them possibly maybe in the next few weeks. And yeah, they're just the regular YouTube chill out videos. If you go on YouTube Music and you look at chill out, the YouTube provides these the actual files for you, for as long as you make them for YouTube. Thank you for going live. No, thank you for the donation. Thank you, Mark Morris. Thank you for another donation. Okay. Oh, people are saying they love me. I love you more. Honestly, I wish my mom was here. Every time I make a video that's sort of, inspirational and people learn something from it, my mom needs to see this. But alas. Could we be an observer inside one? Could we be an observer inside one probability? Thank you for the donation, John. Can you rephrase this? Can we be an observer inside one probability? Oh, like you mean, are we basically in a simulation? Like Matrix? Maybe. Probably not. also, once again, physics kind of showed simulation reality not to be the case. I don't exactly remember how they proved it. I just remember seeing the study, and it was pretty thorough, where they showed that it's very likely this is not a simulation. This is as real as it gets. So don't do anything silly. Okay. Will I be going live more often? So I think streaming for me is actually very challenging, mostly because it's hard to come up with something that I can just kind of flow through. But we'll see. We'll try a few more, I think. I think I'll try a few more streams in the future. It's kind of interesting. I mean, it's different. It's, I don't have to plan anything. But it's also hard because things are so slow. Everything is so slow. Did I work at Certa Pro Painter? I think I've heard of that company. No, I was actually, I was just doing painting on Craigslist, I think. I just posted a bunch of posts in Montreal. So I used to paint people's fences all the time. It was fun. Painting was so much fun. Notice me, says Happy Gamer L231. That's from that movie. You know the movie? It's from that movie. Megan Flemings. Thank you for being my favorite person on YouTube. Thank you for helping learn and stay sane. You're wonderful. No, you are wonderful, Megan. You are wonderful. Thank you so much for the donation. Okay. Oh, okay, I didn't know that. So there's a Professor Jason Steffen who actually hunts for exoplanets and streams lectures on Twitch as Horizon Psi. That's cool. So, I really admire people that do that. It's basically, so streaming and YouTube are two completely different animals. And I had a discussion about this with Fraser Cain, who honestly is one of the coolest science communicators I've ever talked to. So Fraser is really good at both. He's really good at streaming and he's pretty good at YouTube. He learned this over time, and it's something that's, it's an acquired skill, but it's a skill that I'm seriously struggling with because I think my brain it's a little bit slow. I'm a slow learner, not to say the least. And because of this, when I try to think and talk and read and do all these things together, it is super challenging. So streaming is actually harder for me. Gabriel says, I love the Slavic accent. Well, I mean, technically it's a Montreal accent, but I'll take that. Cool. Thank you for the $2. Shrek asks, hey Anton, my astronomy teacher introduced me to your channel in late 2019. I've enjoyed the content since. Man, it's great that astronomy teachers use my videos because that was always the goal of the channel. I've always wanted the videos to be used in education. It was never for it was never to promote anything. That's why I don't have a sponsor on the channel. I probably never will, unless it's an education sponsor. Like if AdX wants to talk to me, yay. But yeah, it's just something that I strive for. I want to make education stuff. John Wheeler. Oh, you didn't have to donate again. Come on, John, but thank you. Not simulation. Infinite probabilities observed by entities within any given probability. Whoa, okay, that's deep. I'm gonna have to think about this. Oh, okay, so you're saying the infinite probabilities observed by entities within any given probability. That is a really tough question. So, okay, I'll tell you what I kind of believe right now. So I definitely believe in the multiverse. And I think one of the best visual sort of explanations to this that was recently kind of made available to everyone is a TV show. It's a TV show that I'm going to pitch again. It's called Devs. If you've seen Devs, great. Please don't spoil. If you haven't seen Devs, you watch it. It's basically what I kind of sort of believe as well. It's this whole multiverse idea that is there, and in every multiverse there is a version of us, and yeah, that's it. So I do believe in the multiverse, and I think most physicists do, because there's too much proof. There's just a lot of evidence for it. There's no other explanation that doesn't include multiverse, simply because of the way quantum physics work. Without multiverse idea, it's very difficult to explain everything. You should hook up with Khan Academy. Khan Academy actually is doing really well on YouTube again. They've been doing great. And to be honest, my original videos were biology and math. I tried to copy Khan Academy essentially. I did pretty much the same thing he did, but I was just not as good as him. And also, he made everything already, so it was basically me copying stuff. I was doing it for my own classes I was teaching. But yeah, Khan Academy is great. If he ever wants to talk to me, I would love to talk to him. But, you know, reaching someone that's already popular is very, very challenging. All right, thank you everyone for the nice comments. I'm trying to read through them really fast. I don't know if I can answer to everything, but okay. So John, feel free to email me about this. In my email is on YouTube. It's under About section. But yeah, if you have a really cool like explanation to what you think, and also if you have any papers related to this idea, I would love to read about them. Maybe it's something we'll talk about. It's not something I've ever thought about though. Not something I considered. If the universe isn't infinite, what could the edge be? Life. But it probably is infinite. And if it's not infinite, it's just looping. Then that's the only other explanation. It's either a loop or infinite. So either it's like a video game where you go to one edge and you come out of the other edge, or it just never ends. Like Minecraft. Minecraft never ends. Do I believe in quantum immortality? I don't know what that is. Maybe. Tell a joke? You're asking me to tell a joke. I don't think you'll appreciate my jokes. My humor is very dry. I've learned that really quickly. I used to try to be funny in my previous stream videos when I was streaming the Alien Isolation, and then I watched myself making those jokes, and it's not pretty. I'm just not funny. I wish I was, but I'm not. Greg says, you're doing great. Thanks for taking the time to talk to many subs in real time. No, honestly, thank you guys and girls and everyone. I'm just super humbled by all the support. I never expected this, and honestly, just seeing people interested in science is making my heart glow. It's just something that I never really thought would be possible. It's definitely it's a way for me to make this a career, and it's a way for me to do something I always loved, which is teaching the way that I learned myself, you know. Gabriela says, please keep up with your videos. You really helped me in a period of my life. And, oh, it disappeared. Oh, and when I had panic disorder, and your videos were always distracting me and making me happy. Thank you. Keep up your videos. Gabriela, honestly, I know exactly what you went through. When my mom passed away, it was the darkest moment of my life. And I think it was actually videos from Markiplier, the famous YouTube gamer, that got me through this, and why I started making videos too, because I realized that what he was doing was also making me happy, so I wanted to try something similar. I mean, I'm not saying I started it because of Markiplier, although maybe I did, but it did help me quite a lot. His videos were just so encouraging. So yeah, YouTube has this effect on people. When you feel in a dark moment, and when you feel like you need someone, YouTube really helps. Unlike other platforms, like I generally don't like other social media. Like I almost never use Facebook. I kind of avoid Twitter too, mostly because of all of the negativity there. But YouTube has this whole new thing. Megan says, I feel like your channel should be named What the Mess. Yeah, that's actually a cool name. Well, so as some of you may have figured out already, or maybe you knew already, the reason it's called What the Math is really because I was a math teacher. I was a math and science teacher, and that was a cool name to take. And I was teaching math, and the first videos were biology and math. And then once you have that name permanently engraved in YouTube, there's no way to change it. And also I started doing the whole logo thing, and it was hard to rebrand. And I'm still thinking of changing this to something, but you know, I feel like I'm not worthy enough to just name the channel Anton. It's not me. I feel like it doesn't represent me, but I want to name it something like, I don't know, like Wonderful People or something like that. So if you have a cool name, maybe I'll go with it. So yeah, the rebranding is a process that's going to happen sometime soon. what the math is probably going away, mostly because it doesn't really fit the channel anymore, and also because I haven't taught math in 3 years now. Although that was fun. Happy Gamer, enjoy the $12 I've given you. Honestly, Happy Gamer and everyone else, thank you so much for the donations. I actually did not expect anything. I honestly didn't really think people would donate, but like I said previously, everything from this video is going to the dog shelter that I've been supporting for a while, where I got my dad's dog, Yoda. You might have seen him in one of the previous videos. Oh my god, 50 bucks! Love the videos and everything you do. My children also love your videos and go to your channel for space and science questions they may have. Whoa, okay, well, honestly, thank you for the $50, and also, thank you for letting your kids watch my videos. Not everyone allows their kids to watch YouTube, as I know from some of my family. And I've always believed that, you know, if you find the right channel, if you find the right educator online, and you trust them, then just send all your family there. Like, I can genuinely promise I will never make a video where it either questions morals or creates content that's not appropriate. As you probably know from the videos, I don't swear generally because I don't swear in real life either. And most importantly, I don't like to deceive people. I like to be, you know, who I am. I like to be genuine about things. Like, this is me in real life as well. I am a pretty boring person, and most people don't like hearing me talk about science in real life, so I do it on YouTube. In other words, I take out all of my bubbled up science things and give it to you, because my family in real life doesn't want to hear about it. They don't care about Pluto or Neptune. Okay, new question. Wonderful Universe. Thanks for years of... Oh, hey, that's a cool name. Wonderful Universe. Yeah. I was actually thinking of something similar. Yeah, maybe I'll go with something similar. But, so, rebranding a channel and rebranding in general is actually difficult for YouTubers, which I've noticed some people have done. And it does change the perspective a little bit. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. Wonderful Universe is actually good. Yeah, I like that. I'll keep that as a one of the choices. What are my thoughts on Fermi paradox? Asks who is it? P. Daniel Todd. Dear Daniel, I think currently at least, from all of the papers I've read in the past, that we basically we might be, currently at least, the only intelligent species in our galaxy at least. The other galaxies we'll probably never hear from, they're too far. But in our galaxy, we're maybe the only species currently that's intelligent. The signs of that are, well, first of all, we're not seeing or hearing anything. We also don't really know how long we're going to stay intelligent and be able to communicate, because maybe that's a very short period of time. But the biggest sign of that is that, well, the universe is a very, very dangerous place. The amount of actual explosive stuff going on in regions of space that can totally strip the planet entirely, just make it completely uninhabitable, are insane. Like the recent discovery, from the video today actually, that, you know, the Fermi bubbles that we knew about for a long time are definitely a sign of a very large explosion in the center of our own galaxy, is already a sign that if you were an alien living somewhere, let me see if I can, living somewhere, where's the Milky Way? Living somewhere in the center of our galaxy within, I would say, like 5,000 light years maybe. If you were somewhere inside here, if you were here somewhere, you would not have fun times. That Fermi bubble explosion would most likely just instantly erase your civilization. It wasn't really an instant explosion though, it took about 1 million years. But the amount of radiation it created was insane. It was equivalent to 20,000 supernova. So that is why I think maybe in our galaxy we are the only ones right now. Maybe there's someone else like somewhere far, but we're not going to hear from them anytime soon. Too far. Okay, new comment. Love your videos, your thoughts. You taught me a lot. You keep me entertained and informed. Thank you so much, Seja Brown. I totally mispronounced that, didn't I? Thank you. Okay. Next, from what the mass to what the facts. Okay, Andrew Wright, that is a great idea, but because of the WTF in there, I'm afraid some parents might not allow their kids to watch my videos anymore. Also, it would be great to... I just like, one of the things I started doing a few years ago is actually start the videos with wonderful person. And some people thought it was really cheesy and didn't like it. But I've never thought I would receive so much positive feedback about how it made people feel. And this is actually really important for me personally, because that's, like I said before, how I survived when my mom passed away. So if my videos make you feel good in the beginning, then I think I'll stick with wonderful something. The idea of feeling wonderful is important. It's not just about science, it's also about what you feel. So yeah, there's that. So it has to be, I think it has to be wonderful blank. And I like universe, I definitely like universe. But yeah. Do you play video games? What games do you play? So, yeah, I play a lot of stuff, but this channel actually started as a video game channel. Also, my original thesis and my original teaching technique was teaching through video games. I've learned a lot of stuff through video games. Actually, a lot of games from the company known as Paradox, like the Hearts of Iron, stuff like that. The not very popular games, but sort of grand strategy games that teach you a lot of stuff, a lot of history. But currently, I'm playing another grand strategy game that I really like called Supreme Ruler Ultimate. And that game is awesome, but it's very, very hard. Very, very hard. I don't really play popular titles. Like I have never played, what's that game called? You know, that one that everyone plays? I don't even remember what it's called. That one, I never played it. The one that's with it, never mind. Should I look it up? No, I have not played that game. Anything popular, I don't play. I play stuff that's usually like really complex, teaches you something, and is not scary. I cannot handle scary games, as I realized when I got stuck in Alien Isolation and could not finish it. Even though I was streaming. I quit, I couldn't do it. It was too scary. Wonderful Space Time. Okay, that's cool too. That's cool too. Let's think about it. Let's brainstorm. Okay, next question. Thank you, Stargate, for the donation. So, another question. Which planet or moon would you want to visit if you can? Asks Sash W. Rin. Sash Rin. Thank you for the donation. So, if I could, I would love to visit Titan. Probably the only object right now. It would be a very different environment, of course. It would be dark. It only gets about, I think it's about 0.5% of radiation from the sun. It's also really cold. And it probably smells like eggs. It smells horrible. But I would love to visit it. I would love to just like see what it's like. Apparently, if you like attach tiny wings to your hands, because of the low gravity and really thick atmosphere, if you flap them fast enough, you can fly. So I would love to do that, and then call it a day and go home to a warmer, less stinky climate. That would be fun. Okay. EU4, Victoria 2. Yes, I love those games. Europa Universalis 4 was a game I played for a long time. Victoria 2 as well. Yeah, I love those games. No Man's Sky. No, it's not No Man's Sky. The game I was thinking about is the online game that I never played. You know that everyone plays on Fortnite. Yes, thank you. That's it. Fortnite. Yes. Never played it, never will. It just... Okay, the thing I have about Fortnite is not that I don't like it. It's the community it creates, and I disagree with that. My thesis was actually written on video games in education, and I did a lot of research on that in university. And I discovered that a type of a video game changes everything. So if you are a parent and you have control over your children, please don't make them play Fortnite. It's really bad for their mental development. It's just, even if you love this game, if you love Fortnite, what it does to you over time is not really good. And it's something that psychologists have known for a very long time. So Fortnite is not something I would ever promote or suggest. Hearts of Iron though is great. Stalker, that's an interesting game. I've played it for a little bit, but it was too depressing. I think Stalker was just not a fun game from a perspective of just being in this dark, apocalyptic world. I like those sometimes, but not always. I like Fallout games a lot more. EVE Online, I've never really played, but I think Scott Manley is a big EVE Online player. EVE Online is... The reason I never got into it is because it is complex. It's really complex and it requires a huge time commitment, which I never had. And that is why I couldn't really get into it. Okay, BW Belling. Thank you so much for the donation. I've enjoyed watching you grow and change as a person over the years. Maybe one day there will be an exoplanet named for you. It's probably not going to be possible unless I find it. So the way that naming works for planets right now is if you find it, you can name it after someone. But I think that person has to be dead. So the naming thing is really complicated. And people actually argue and fight a lot about naming different objects. And it's not something I would really ever want to get into. You'd be surprised how many different arguments scientists have over trivial things. Okay, Gutha Madara. My uploads are insightful in layman terms, make simple people like me feel like space experts. Yay, that's exactly what I aim to do. What is the best way to observe space in real time for an ordinary guy like me? I love Universal Sandbox. So, if you don't have a telescope, which is an expensive commitment, there are... I'm trying to think the websites that allow you to actually watch space in real time. Oh, Fraser Cain would know about this. If he came to this chat right now, he would tell you all about it. So, so let me pitch his channel. Fraser Cain is someone who streams online doing a lot of space exploration in real time. And he has done a lot of videos where he takes you to these online telescope sites, I think. And then they actually will look at stars together. I don't think they're free though. I think there's actually a membership fee. So for free, I don't think there's a way. But you can definitely do it with his videos, I guess. Just watch him do it. I remember he was talking about how one day they were looking at some galaxy somewhere and they accidentally saw a supernova happen. That's pretty cool. Seeing a supernova in real time, that's not something you would imagine to happen in anyone in real life. All right. Do you play Destiny? No, I actually don't really play a lot of online games, mostly because of the time commitment and my time zone is different from everyone else. Okay. Subnautica. Oh yeah, Subnautica is a game I would love to try. I have it actually on my computer, but I haven't gotten enough time to try it just yet. It looks like a great game though. Stellaris is actually a game I've also played for a long time. Stellaris is a great title. What is my favorite movie? So, like I previously mentioned, it is Blade Runner. And the favorite show, I don't think I have one, but I really liked recently. Where is it? Here, Devs. Devs is a good show. Watch it. Not the best, but great. Do I think they will build a giant telescope on the moon? It would be a really good idea to do so, but it's a very challenging project right now. So maybe in 100 years? If we're still doing the space stuff, but right now it doesn't look likely. Okay, someone is saying they will name an extraterrestrial body after me when I'm dead. Thanks. I don't know how I feel about it. You know, thinking about your own death sometimes is a little bit disturbing. But yeah. So let's see, did I miss any important questions? Cool. Are you an observer? Am I an observer of stars? I wish I was. So the place I live in has one of the highest light pollutions in the world. The only things I can see are literally Venus, Jupiter, Mars, and a few other stars occasionally, and the moon of course. But it's really hard to see anything here. It's very dark. It's very bright. My favorite game was Monster Rancher 2. I don't know that game, but it sounds like something I might like. I like farming games. They are surprisingly relaxing. What shape do you think the universe is? So I think it's not sphere. I think it's really, really complex, and I think it folds on itself and it does these like twists and stuff. So it's probably a really complex shape. Not something we can easily imagine though. Cool. What else do we have here? Ice fishing on Europa. That would be fun. For like a minute, then I would probably get cold. I've tried ice fishing before. It's a surprisingly cold activity, as you can probably imagine. Warp Fox. Thank you for your videos about space and science. You're a wonderful person, and as always, bye-bye. Ha! Love it. Thank you. Thank you, Warp Fox. Where do you collect your research papers? So this is actually an interesting question. Because it's complex. It's really complicated. As I previously mentioned, I've learned programming from just studying online. And I've learned how to do Python scripts really, really well. And so over the time, I made a bunch of scripts that usually go to websites like the one I previously posted, which is this, Archive. And they kind of just, they go through different new papers in topics like astrophysics. And it sort of reports back to me automatically, telling me what papers I should be maybe looking at. But every day, I'm not even kidding, there are approximately 130 different papers that are new and fresh and possibly worth looking at. So over time, I'll have to maybe change this a little bit. It's just too much. There's no way anyone can read so much. But yeah, if you go on Archive or really any other website that has scientific papers, in all of the subjects, everything from mathematics to economics, there are like literally, I would say, close to 1,000 papers every single day. So you can probably imagine it's very difficult for anyone to keep track of stuff like that. I also read a lot of other sites. Like I go to PhysX a lot, which is a great community of scientists who, or I think they're scientists, who write articles for press release. And sometimes I just look there. They provide a lot of good information. Okay, is it overwhelming to see 500,000? Yeah, it kind of is. Thank you for the donation, but yeah, it's something that I never imagined actually. 2 million would be great, but probably even more overwhelming. Thank you so much. Love the way you explain space and sciences, and your good soul, good sir. Oh, thank you. Seha blah blah blah. Thank you for the donation. Well, I try to be good, but it's hard, you know. The world is sometimes a negative place. It's hard to be good every time. Okay, do we have a new question here? Thank you for posting research articles with the video. I hope you made it to the center of the galaxy and Elite Dangerous. Also, the video in Solar Dynamo was awesome. Thank you, JD. So, I actually have never made it to the center of the galaxy in Elite Dangerous either. The game is really, really, really good, but is a huge time sink. I don't have that much time in my life. One day, I want to actually just take a break for like a month, maybe like post like a month-long collection of videos and just play through like Elite Dangerous and, you know, so some other games I haven't played in a while. Elite Dangerous though is great. I cannot believe they managed to achieve so much with that game. It's just mind-blowing. Yeah. Do I believe aliens exist? I think alien life exists. I don't know if actual intelligence exists. I don't even know what intelligence is. I don't think anyone does. When did I move to South Korea and why? 2006, I think. And it was for job reasons. Because, no, sorry, 2007, 2008, 2007. It was during the initial stages of the financial crisis when there were no jobs at all. I remember standing in the line with my resume, and there were 300 people. Most of them were overdressed, like suits and everything. And it was really, really depressing. And because I was just out of college, that's when I thought, oh, that's what life must be like. Ha, fun. Turns out that it was just a really bad time to be a new employee anywhere. Thank you so much, Peter. Peter Faiz. Wonderful live cast, Anton. And a surprise. Ha, thank you. Surprise to me too. Surprise to me as well. I think for a lot of you, it's actually, it's like past midnight if you're in US. Do I have a Discord? No, unfortunately I do not yet. I've been working on some kind of a community chat forum thing for a while now, but I can't really find the best. With Discord, it's you need to have people helping you like full time. It's just impossible to do this alone again. As I mentioned, because I'm doing this alone with some help from just some of the family members, it is just really difficult. But I might start something sometime this year, just so people can, you know, post questions, have discussions about stuff. But because I know, you'd be surprised how much, I guess you can call it hate mail I get. Just people saying really horrible things for no reason, just because they like to. And because of this, I need to have a moderator or someone to moderate stuff, to erase all this stuff, to, you know, so that it's basically kind of a family-friendly environment where kids can go and ask questions too. That's really the biggest concern for me. If you have a child and they come to a Discord or let's say a Reddit and they read something horrible, I am going to feel responsible for this. And right now, that's the biggest challenge I have. Which is why I do not have a Discord just yet. But there will be something soon. Working on it, along with other things. Do I have any other science-related interests like geology, rock hounding, or aquariums, or some other interest? Thank you for your hard work. So I think in terms of science, my biggest interests are actually computer science. That's what I've studied the most, except for you know, physics and astronomy. But yeah, no, not really aquariums or rocks. Even though it sounds like a really cool hobby, I've known a lot of people that have done this in the past, but it is not particularly something I ever got into. But computer science, yes, I know a lot about computer science, which is probably what I've learned the longest. Have I played Spore? Yes, Spore is a great game. A long time ago, when I was still making games on this channel, I was actually so close to making a Spore video, but never got to it. Spore is an amazing game. So someone is saying, oh, but the kids are the ones writing the horrible stuff. Yes and no. You would be really surprised how many people that are adults, older adults, that sometimes send horrible stuff. Like just, which is why I would never recommend for anyone to become a YouTuber. The amount of hate some people get is just, or some people have inside of them is just overwhelming. But you know, I try to stay positive. I just usually, once again, I have a script that all I have to do is, you know, click on the little button on my email, and it automatically just sends all of their emails to an invisible trash can that I never have to look at. So some of you that have been sending messages that are negative are unfortunately in that box. I'm really sorry about that. It's not something I wish to do, but it's something that's inevitable. Flat earthers? No flat earthers. I don't want to talk about it. So this is really more of a psychological question than it is a question of science. In life in general, usually the loudest group of people is the one that seems to be important because of what we refer to as availability heuristic. I'm gonna show you. This concept is really, really important. It refers to the idea that, you know, whatever's most available seems most important. So that's the thing with flat earthers. They're just the loudest. They scream the loudest, and so we think it's important, but there's actually very, very few of them. The numbers of their membership numbers are very, very small. They're not a particularly important community. Which is why I never made a video about flat earth, and never will. It's just silly. So you don't think the UFOs are extraterrestrials? I mean, some UFOs that we see are, you know, they're UFOs. They're basically the unidentified flying objects. And I'm pretty sure that everything we've seen so far are, but I do not think that we've seen or have any evidence of extraterrestrial UFOs. There's just, the evidence has to be really, really strong. I'm a big supporter of Carl Sagan's ideas when he basically says, you know, extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. If you don't have those specific proofs that, oh hey, look, this is aliens, look at their DNA is completely different. They don't even have DNA. Unless you have that, there's no way we can say it's extraterrestrial intelligence. It's unfortunately something that is kind of hard to believe, I guess, because people do want to believe. I used to have a poster from the X-Files, I want to believe. You know that one? Let me see if I can find it. But over time, I just kind of, with evidence and with all of the papers I read and all the stuff I studied, it really just does not make sense to blindly believe in this unless there is proof. Yes, you're right. My community does have a lot of wonderful people, which is actually why I love making videos for you guys. Yes. Many would help me moderate. That's true. So maybe that's what we'll do in the future. I think if we if I make an announcement about moderators needed, maybe there will be some people willing to volunteer. But I think the important part here is that it needs to be you know, family friendly, in a sense that a child can go ask a question and not feel harassed. That's the important part. I've previously gotten emails from just people telling me that they really wanted to ask a question on the video, but the first time they asked something, they felt kind of harassed by comments, and so they wanted to ask the question because they wanted to know the answer. And the question might have been silly, so that's why they got a lot of comments. And because of this, it makes me feel really responsible that, you know, I cannot find the solution to this just yet. I want to have a way for everyone to express their thoughts and also to question things, but without really any kind of harassment. Please understand, a lot of us aren't haters. I know that you aren't, guys. I know that most people are wonderful. I know that there is just some people out there that are not, and that's the reason why we don't yet have a community to talk and to chat and to ask questions. So one day, hopefully this year, I'm really hoping in the next few months I can work something out. But right now there is just no way that I can do this without feeling guilty that someone will say something horrible and I'll feel responsible. Okay, questions. Okay. I don't see any questions. Okay, here we go. Okay. So, will I ever get to explore new planets? Let me see if what did I even have? I had some plans before, didn't I? Let's see what my plan was. My plan was to show you a bunch of cool planets. I don't think I'll be able to do this though. This is so difficult to multitask. Here we go. Coret 7b. Let's just have this as a background. This is a really cool planet. It's called Coret 7b. Coret is the name of the telescope that discovered it. This was the 7th planet discovered by this telescope. And it is a really cool object because it's basically the first ever discovered rocky super Earth. We know it's rocky, but it's also very hot. Super, super hot. Cool. Okay. Thank you so much, everyone, for the congratulations. Yeah, someone is mentioning that I need 2-3 people to moderate. I definitely agree. That would be something that I need to work through. How do you decide what to post daily? I actually usually don't. I have very little decision making in terms of what I post. I make videos in batches normally. Like I'll take 4 days to record everything. I'll take usually a full day to research everything, to write a basic script. And then I'll take some other days to edit. But then as I make these videos, I pick one that's, you know, something I haven't talked to in a while, and then I post it. So there's actually a catalog of videos that's going to be coming out this week. They're already pre-made. And like the video tomorrow, I forgot what it was. I think, yeah, I don't remember, sorry. But yeah, there's a video coming out this week about faster than light travel in the universe and the signs of it that we've seen so far. So there's that. We call it, we actually call it apparent faster than light travel. It's not real. Okay, Scotty London. I love your videos. Thank you for putting them out. And oh, I'm handsome. Thank you. Oh, that's very, very humbling. Hello, sir. I love your content. Congratulations on 500k. Huge achievement. I hope you have as many subs as I hope I have as many subs as you one day. Broman Legion. I hope you do too. So whatever content you make, post it here. Maybe people want to check it out, or just post the topics that you make. But honestly, YouTube is hard. Like if you're thinking of starting a YouTube channel, and you're only doing it because you think it's going to be fun, it only seems fun in the beginning. It becomes really, 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 really hard, really quick. This is the hardest job I've ever done. And I told you before, I've worked in the diamond mines in North Canada, in the Arctic, in super cold conditions with flies and bears running around. That was more, less challenging, more relaxing. The YouTube business is just challenging. And the biggest challenge is actually, well, apart from the community sometimes being not very positive, the biggest challenge is just not knowing what's going to happen. It's just so unpredictable. The YouTube numbers game is just not fun. Because, you never know if your video is going to do well, and there's nothing you can do about it. And sometimes channels just slowly start to wane, even though the person hasn't changed anything. So it's a very challenging job. And it doesn't actually pay well. You'd be surprised how little most YouTubers make. Congratulations on the milestone. Here is some pie for you. I love it. Jifus Lives donated $3.14. That's amazing. It's a pie, in case you didn't know. Monty Craig, congratulations. Thank you, Monty. Great channel. Well, I think it's okay. It can be better. I still have a lot more ideas on how to change things, but I'll need some time to work it out. Someone's asking if it was De Beers mine. No, it wasn't. It was Okati. It was the Okati mine. I don't want to promote them. I was gonna look it up, but I don't agree with their policies. They've been destroying the environment of Canada. It's actually a really, really big diamond mine. It was a really cool complex too. So when I went there, the first thought I had is like, oh wow, this is probably what it's going to be like when we mine on other planets, because it's essentially a enclosed building with an airplane field next to it. The airplane lands, you don't even go outside, you just kind of go into the building and you never leave until you have to go mine stuff. So that was a pretty cool experience. And I'm pretty sure that this is something we're going to copy if we ever settle like on the moon or Mars. It's a pretty cool concept. Okay, so Broman Legion debunks flat earthers with science. That's awesome. That's a great topic. So if you are interested in that, go subscribe to Broman Legion. Okay, cool. Okay, I'm trying to read comments real quickly here. Do I have a theory of the microcosm, how the microcosm relates to the macrocosm? No, I don't. I mean, we know that it has similarities. The relation is the math. Math is really everything. Math kind of, acts on macrocosm and microcosm, and it causes things to look kind of similar. But except for math and except for the actual physical concepts, I don't really know what other connections there are. The thing about microcosm, specifically the subatomic particles, is that they have their own world and they live in their own world, and it's almost impossible for humans to imagine. Quantum mechanics is a field I'm still struggling with from the mathematical perspective. I kind of get the concepts, I just don't really truly understand some of the math sometimes. And I'm pretty sure that's true of every person that ever studied it. It's just there are very, very, very few people in the world who can truly say that, oh yeah, I get quantum physics and quantum mechanics from every angle. That's not something anyone can say easily. Whoa, $49. Thank you. Thank you for doing what you do. My recent favorite was the video about potential to use nuclear explosions for terraforming. I'm trying to think what video that was. Was it the one with the changing weather, right? Okay, we wouldn't be using nuclear weapons for that though. We'll probably find another way to, electrify the atmosphere. But yeah, it's really interesting how we discovered recently that apparently electrifying atmosphere through ionizing radiation from nuclear bombs basically creates rain. It added 20% more rain around the world. Not just in that location, everywhere around the world there was more rain. So that's cool. Peter McLaughlin, what do you think of the Everett or many worlds interpretation? Let me think. Let me try to remember what that is. What is many worlds? Is it the one I'm thinking of? Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what this is about, right? Devs. That's devs. I think this is it. Yeah, no. As I previously mentioned, I really enjoy this show, and I think Everett and his ideas and the idea of multiverse is what I think is the reality. It's just hard to imagine for us, but mathematically it makes no sense to have only one world. Many worlds is probably what's actually out there. In other words, there's a copy of you that's slightly different. Like we're talking about subatomic differences, and it exists in other universes. But how this all connects, I don't know. I don't think anyone does. Any tips on becoming an astronomer? It's my dream job. Well, my tip to you as a 16-year-old, remembering back to my days and also remembering some of the students that I have right now, is that just start learning by yourself a lot of math specifically, but also keep your mind open, because what you want to do when you're 16 is going to change dramatically from when you're 32 or 48. So just start doing stuff. That is the biggest tip I can give you. Stop thinking, stop choosing, stop deciding, go and do something. You just get yourself into, let's just say, a scientific, what are they called? Research assistant. That was actually my first job in college. I was a research assistant for a professor who was doing astrobiology studies. He was trying to debunk this thing. He was trying to debunk Allen Hills 84001. So there is this really cool rock that we found in Antarctica in 1984. This is called Allen Hills? I think it's called Allen Hills asteroid. And some of the scientists back in the 90s suggested that there were signs in there suggesting potential microbial life that came from Mars. This is a Martian asteroid. But the professor I was working for as a research assistant, and I think I was just a little bit older than 16 back then, was doing the opposite. He was trying to prove them wrong. And so that opportunity allowed me to see the other side, not just believing in everything I hear, but also seeing that sometimes you have to have this critical thinking mind, and you have to be able to ask questions like, okay, that looks, let me show you what it looks like. That kind of looks like a bacteria, right? Here. Like that maybe looks like a bacteria, kind of, sort of. Open up. Bigger. Like these things, right? They sort of look bacterial, but are they? And turns out they're not. And so the professor I was working with and his other team, he managed to prove that it wasn't by, well, basically recreating this using normal chemical reactions. It was just a chemical reaction that happened inside the asteroid. And that was cool. I thought it was cool. It taught me a lot. Well, actually, all I was doing is sitting in the lab with a mortar and pestle and grinding asteroid rocks over and over, and then putting them under microscope. And also, I was responsible for refilling microscopes using liquid nitrogen. That was super fun, but I burned myself so many times. There are still actually signs of burn marks on my feet from the liquid nitrogen. Not something that you can see very often. Okay, let's read some more questions. Do more live chats to offset the stress. That's actually maybe a good idea. Maybe I should. Thank you for the donation. You will be remembered long after you're gone for being a wonderful person. Brilliant mind. Love you so much. Oh, I don't want to be gone soon though. That makes me sad now. But thank you for the donation. Yeah. I appreciate everything you guys do. Okay. Scrolling through questions. Do you think we are at quantum level of something like we are a virus in something trying to spread in the universe? No, I don't think we're a virus. I've heard that term before applied to humans. I don't think we are. I think we're just learning, but not very well sometimes. And also in terms of quantum level, I don't really know what you mean by that specifically, but if we're thinking of quantum mechanics, I'm sure the humans in other universes do something completely different. Some of them might actually be much worse than us. So there's that. Okay, common sense criticism. Thank you for $5. Do galaxies have Goldilocks zones like solar systems? Is there a distance from a black hole that's more conductive to life? Congratulations. Thank you, thank you. So yes, they do. They do. And we don't know where they are. So for our galaxy, so this was actually one of the explanations for why we exist on the outskirts of the Milky Way. For our galaxy, we think that the actual habitable zone is much, much, much farther from the center. And one of the reasons is, like I previously mentioned, and also in the video today that came out a few hours ago, the Fermi bubbles that we discovered, these large explosion signs, they may have actually destroyed everything in the center of the galaxy. We are farther from it. We are right there. We're sort of right there. So the habitable zone is definitely here and probably maybe a little bit closer. So that's kind of what a lot of scientists believe, but we obviously don't know how far it is. For some galaxies though, especially the ones with really massive black holes, they don't have habitable zones simply because anything that falls into that black hole creates so much energy. We call them, well, we actually refer to them as galactic tsunamis that basically strips everything of everything. Imagine particles, really hot particles moving at about 30,000 kilometers per second, striking our planet over and over. It kind of destroys everything. Cool. Next. Next. Okay. Catching up to comments here. Random Spirit. Do you think terraforming planets is possible, and how do you think it could be done? Well, love your channel, sincerity, inherent kindness. No, thank you, Random Spirit. Okay, so terraforming planets is difficult. It's very difficult. And some of my first videos that became popular were actually like I was trying to terraform every individual planet using Universe Sandbox. But even as I was doing it, I was realizing that there's almost no way we can just get away with this so easily. But when you think about it, what we're doing to the planet right now, in terms of changing the climate and the environment, is already in a sense terraforming. So we're learning all these things by unfortunately doing these negative things. Like for example, the CO2 emissions are teaching us that we can raise temperatures. The methane and other nitric oxide emissions, all of this stuff is teaching us that we can raise temperatures. Ooh, almost broke my mic. Raise temperatures even more. And then things like sulfates are doing the opposite. So we know chemically we can control the atmosphere. So there's that. We also know that turns out nuclear weapons can produce rain. So as we learn all these things, we'll probably accumulate enough knowledge to be able to actually use all of these things we used to kind of see as negative to then go and change planets. So I don't think we're going to terraform Mars simply because Mars is it's not a planet that can sustain climate and weather for too long. But my hope is that one day we'll figure out what to do with Venus. Venus is actually a really good planet to try to do something on it. So Venus would be cool. Was your teaching degree for high school science teaching? Yes, it was, Peter. It wasn't actually just science. It was math, sciences, and specifically I focused on teaching science using alternative means, which is video games. My thesis, if you ever try to find it, was so badly written. Don't ever look it up. It was in teaching through Minecraft. I was one of the first teachers in the province of Ontario, where I did my master's, to come up with a program to teach through Minecraft. And I did that for a while. I actually did that in my first teaching experience as a math teacher. I taught science normally, but I taught math through Minecraft. But only for students who couldn't really understand math well. The kids who got math, they were just bored. They didn't like it. Okay, let's read through some of the other questions. Oh, this is so hard to catch up. Okay, I'm looking for question marks. Okay. Cool. Awesome. Okay, I think I caught up finally. Yay! All right, so feel free to ask more. I may have to actually end the stream in about 20 minutes, I think, because my family is actually waiting for me. But yeah, I'm super happy that everyone is chatting, talking, and stuff. Michelle says, my son loves Minecraft. Honestly, Michelle, I encourage you to give your son more time with Minecraft. It is, and so from psychological perspective and from all of the studies I've done, it is incredible at teaching incredible things. Like, there is so much evidence to support that Minecraft has created something extremely good for kids, for communities. There's this really cool, I wanna pitch this, especially for those of you who may have autistic children. Someone a few years ago, almost actually 10 years ago, started a server called Oddcraft, and it's actually specifically for autistic children to go and learn skills in Minecraft, because there were several studies that have proven that for someone who's autistic, Minecraft is a great tool to learn these skills they would not be able to learn in real life. They made a great point, and apparently it actually works, and they love it, and it's a great community. It's actually parents running it, and from what I remember at least, they accepted donations. Oh yeah, there's a Patreon here. So definitely something I support wholeheartedly. Minecraft is amazing. Just something that kind of takes you into this other world and makes you learn stuff you wouldn't otherwise. It teaches, you can learn programming in Minecraft, you can learn management, planning. It's not as good for older students, for older people, except for, of course, relaxation, but for education, up to, I would say, middle school, actually, it's a great tool. Okay, catching up on comments. Oh, someone says, I love you. I love you too. Hey, I'm from Ontario. So I lived in Toronto for 3 years, and it was great. Loved it. But I'm from Montreal. Matt says, congratulations on 500. The march to 1 million has begun. Yes, that's how I see it too. I mean, 1 million is going to be just a mind-blowing achievement. It's just, just being a random teacher who starts a channel to teach stuff and getting that is kind of crazy. But yeah. Cool. So, what is your opinion on No Man's Sky? No Man's Sky is cool. I've actually played this on the channel 3 years ago, and I do want to go back to playing it, but there's just so many things I want to try. There's just not enough time in the world, right? No Man's Sky is a game that changed quite a lot, and it's definitely okay. I wouldn't call it same as Minecraft in terms of education, but for just exploring things and like just going out there, exploring the universe, it's fun. It's a great game. How long until we can take close-up pictures of planets? So we actually can't, for the reasons of how lenses work. In order for us to take a real close-up of a planet, we need to have a much bigger lens, and in this case it would have to be a lens the size of the solar system itself. So we would actually have to place can I find an orbit here somewhere? Let's try to Universe and Vlogs. Okay, so if this is Earth right here, we would have to make an actual lens, probably size of Neptune's orbit. So we would have to place a bunch of telescopes along Neptune's orbit, and possibly other orbits, and they would all have to be looking in the same direction. And so if there is a planet like literally pointing straight at us, then we'll be able to take a good picture. But you can't really rotate this lens. In order to rotate, you have to literally shift the entire plane of orbit, and that's really challenging. So because of that, taking an actual close-up of the planet is just impossible from the perspective of photography. But we can collect enough data to predict what the surface of a planet looks like, which is what we've been doing. I think what most people don't realize when they look at this famous picture that exploded last year, M87 is actually not a true picture. Where'd it go? This here is actually still a statistical recreation. it's not really a picture in the way we think of, you take a photograph, the light goes in, you get what you see, right? It's the study that they published after this came out shows you the process they went through, and they create these potential probabilities of what the light they're seeing may look like. And this was just the most likely prediction. So in reality, we know it's there, we know it's doing this light stuff, and there's a black hole and so on, but the actual true picture is not that. It doesn't truly look like this. This is just a prediction, it's a probability. But it's still cool though, it's a great achievement. Would it take more energy to cross a galaxy or to cross to a parallel reality? I don't know if we can cross to parallel reality because we don't have any theoretical concepts that deal with that. So I would say definitely reality. Okay. Catching up. Someone is asking me, where is the dog? So as I previously mentioned, the dog it's at my dad's. I got this for my father. His dog passed away, and so he has Yoda. Yoda is with my father. His dog, I think I showed you this previously. Where is it? Here. His dog. Let me see if I can. Okay, let's try this again. Here we go. Here we go. There it is. That's his old dog. German. Come on. This is mirror image. Here we go. His old dog is right there, and it passed away. And so I gave him Yoda. I adopted Yoda, and then I did it because he was kind of, feeling sad and he's alone all the time. So he loves it. Next question. Someone says they remember me playing No Man's Sky. Yeah, I would love to. If I ever go back to gaming on this channel or any other channel, No Man's Sky is going to be a must for me. I love that game. Okay, Michael, thank you so much for $19.99. Any thoughts, theories you've heard of about the tic-tac shaped UFO sightings, such as the one by Navy pilots? So, if you were to rewind this video, you would know my... no, so I'll repeat it again. So, I think there is no evidence whatsoever to suggest that these are aliens from other planets, but they are UFOs. They are unidentified flying objects. They were so let's talk about this very briefly. There were 3 videos. One of them showed this object flying. I don't know if I can find them so quickly. I wish I saved the link. Flying over water, and it was moving really, really fast. That video is what we refer to as a perspective, forced perspective. So this is the one. This is just a picture. But here in this video, this object was flying across water really fast. But it's the effect of a relative perspective when something in front of you is moving, and then what you're seeing is the background moving really, really fast. The actual object was not moving very fast. As a matter of fact, the pilot in this airplane never said it was moving fast. It just looked that way. The other video, the famous one, this one right here. Now, I wish I remember who made the explanation for this on YouTube, but there's this amazing explanation where this person, so what they're filming this with is not a regular camera. It's called FLIR, FLIR. It's a FLIR camera. The FLIR system, which you can apparently buy online, it images things in infrared. And so this one guy on YouTube went to an airport. He went to a military airport. Let's try to see if we can do this. FLIR, Navy. No, it's not like this. FLIR. I hope I can find it. But I probably can't. But anyway, so I'll try to summarize it for you. What he did was he filmed, I think it was F-16 taking off from the airport. And then he filmed it in regular light and FLIR light. And it looked exactly like this. Literally, like 1-to-1. And he was using analog FLIR, which I think is what they used on these airplanes as well. Which is why it looks so unusual to us. So in other words, there's really no suggestion here that it's anything but airplane. But maybe it was moving unusually. I'm not a military pilot, and I do not know enough about this. But from what I understand, there's no suggestion that these are aliens. And the third video was also somewhat similar to this. I don't remember what it was, but it also doesn't really suggest that it's an alien life. It just suggests that it's an unknown object. It's interesting. It's something that's moving differently. But, you know, there are a lot of different military technologies we still don't really know about. And both China and Russia are filled with secrets when it comes to military technology. So, yeah. Oh, okay. Forward-looking infrared. That's what FLIR stands for. Thank you, Jamie. So, yeah, that's what I think about it. If I ever find the video that I am thinking of where the person actually explains everything with a lot of detail. He even talks about how airplanes move and how the FLIR camera tracks the objects. In that video, he actually explains really well why he believes that this here was nothing but an airplane, just from a slightly different angle. But I don't remember how to find that video, unfortunately. Do you watch Korean dramas by any chance? I'm sorry, Gabriella. I'm not a big fan. No, I don't watch Korean dramas. Even though I live in Korea, I am not a fan of Korean dramas or K-pop. And I think the reason for it is that they really haven't changed in decades. I mean, if they reinvented the genre, maybe, but I really like Korean movies. Like Korean cinema, not dramas, but cinema is amazing. I mean, you all know Korean movie won the Oscars last year, but there's actually a lot more to Korean cinema than just that one movie. Their movies are incredible. Although you do need to usually read subtitles, so if you don't like that, then yeah. TR3B. What's TR3B? I don't know what that is, I'm sorry. Do I have any thoughts on fractals and the division of nature being a unified theory? Not really, I'm sorry. I mean, fractals are everywhere in nature. It's just I think fractals are just sort of the thing that happens when you have a lot of math. I guess the best example I can give you of how mathematics can create complex and unusual patterns is I'm trying to remember the name of that concept. It's also from programming, actually. It is called, oh boy, it's by this person who recently passed away, John Conway. So it's actually part of a game of life, but essentially, in a nutshell, yeah, this Langtong's ant, that's what it's called, Langtong's ant. So what the Langtong's ant represents is essentially it's the idea that if you were to take a simple mathematical concept, with time it will create ridiculously complex patterns. And this is a very, very simple program with just like 2 commands in it. Like I think it's if it's white, go left, if it's black, go right, or something like that, something really simple. And it also occasionally changes the colors. But if you run this long enough, it eventually starts producing a pattern that looks almost exactly like this, with this really unusual channel here. And they all do that. This ridiculousness, this mathematical sort of anomaly currently has no explanation. But this is kind of what I think about fractals as well. It's just, you know, with time, math creates complexity. And some of it is something that may result in life. So, yeah, math is cool. It's hard, but it's cool. Okay. Do I plan to try out more terraforming with Universe Sandbox? So, I think maybe if Universe Sandbox reaches the point where it becomes more complex. Right now it's still relatively simple as a simulation. Maybe. But, you know, terraforming it's a fun concept, but unless we start thinking about it scientifically and actually develop techniques, it's just going to stay that as a kind of a concept. It's not going to go farther than that. Do I like K-pop? I'm sorry. No, I don't. In terms of music, I think someone actually asked me that. What kind of music do I like? In terms of music, I just generally listen to the same kind of music you're hearing right now in the background. The chill out music. You know, the stuff that makes you relax. I usually just go to channels that play relaxing music. Oh, someone from Netherlands just woke up and wanted to say to you that you are a wonderful person. Love your videos. Thank you, Desiree. Thank you for waking up so early. Thank you. So, okay, what do I expect from James Webb Telescope? I expect it to not explode while taking off from US. I really hope nothing happens to the telescope. I hope it works. And if it works, then Proxima Centauri would be a nice first place to look at. Proxima b is a planet that's it's the nearest exoplanet we've discovered, and it's surprisingly in the habitable zone of the nearest star to us. But unfortunately, that star is actually what we refer to as a flare star, and so it's very, very active. Oh, one of the things in the beginning of the stream, I was actually gonna show you how to look for exoplanets, and that never happened. But basically, what I was trying to do here is I wanted to show you how, or what the typical light pattern looks like from a typical star. Can I type this? If you look at the star in general, if you look at their luminosity, a lot of stars are very, very, very unpredictably flary. They have a lot of flares, which is why we're so lucky we live around the sun. The sun is surprisingly calm. Okay, I don't see it. Where is it? There should be a light emissions section. I don't see it. Oh, this is not it. Okay. How about Kepler 80? Kepler 80 is a really cool star system. It's the only other star system we know of that has more planets than planet Earth, than solar system. It most likely has 9 planets. Oh, why do I not see it? Okay, I can't really. What I'm looking for right now is I wanted to show you the light spectra, but I guess we're not going to see it. Oh, there's a picture here though. Anyway, so yeah, most stars, their light spectrum look like this. It's like a wave, whereas for our sun, it's basically a flat line. And for many stars, you'll see these flares coming on top. And in that case, you know that this is not a star you want to go around, because a typical flare like that will not only disable all of the satellites in orbit, it will most likely create enough radiation to potentially damage cells. So yeah. Okay. Let's try to catch up on some of the questions, comments, concerns. Please look up in chat for comment. Blank state. Oh, I'm sorry, I missed something. Thank you for the donation. It's really, really hard to read so fast. Okay, where is it? Where is the comment you mentioned? I don't see it. Okay, dear blank slate, could you please ask again? I'll try to see it this time. I missed it. Do you think Parker Probe will bring exciting new revelations about our star? So it already has. There was a video a few months ago where we've already discovered so much about how the nearby location next to our sun is just like super incomprehensible. It creates all of these weird waves we never imagined, and so I'm sure we'll discover a lot more about that. But none of this ever gets to us. We're too far from it, luckily. Mercury gets some of it though. What about parallel universe discovery with time running backwards? So I'm still looking into that, but I would like to not spoil this yet because there might be a video about it. I do not think the proof is there, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'm still looking through some of the papers. Thank you, metal in both legs. Thank you for 5 pounds. Okay, I definitely missed a comment, didn't I? Whose comment did I miss? Can I? Oh. No, blank slate. Tell me what it was. I want to know. Blank slate just said, never mind, I love you. I love you too, but tell me what it was. Whoa, 50 euros. Useless companion. How much do you like Rick and Morty? I love your content. Please stay wonderful person that you are. I love you. Also, if you get a burnout in the future because of daily uploads, please do do a break. So okay, that's actually very, very on point. I love Rick and Morty. It's a great show. A lot of their concepts are ridiculously accurate scientifically. Most people maybe don't realize that it's a show that's pure science made into a cartoon. Great show. In terms of burnout, yeah, daily uploads are difficult, and it does sometimes make me feel like I might have a burnout. But normally, what I used to do is just take a weekend off, go somewhere, and explore the world. I used to go to Taiwan a lot. I love Taiwan. Taiwan is really close to me. It's only like 2 hours by plane. Tickets are ridiculously cheap. But as you know, now I can't. So in the last 3 months, the burden has been sort of bottling up. The burden has become burdening. It's we don't actually have quarantine here, but I cannot go anywhere because every other country does, and because when I come back, I will be in mandatory quarantine for 2 weeks. So I won't be able to make any videos. So unfortunately, there's that. But yeah, I'm definitely trying to take care of my social self-being. Will I ever play Kerbal Space Program? So I definitely want to. I have about, like I mentioned previously, 100 videos on the channel on Kerbal Space Program. I used to teach a lot of math and science with it. Oh, maybe can I find the playlist and just post it here? Wait, I need to do it here. Let's find it. I can do it. I'm fast enough to find my own playlist. So this playlist that I wanted to show you is basically the Kerbal Space Program playlist, where I think I've made, how many does it say? Where is it? And this playlist has not been updated in a really long time. Mostly because I over time I just like Scott Manley, who's really big with Kerbal Space Program, I just kind of stopped making them. But I really like it though. I like the game. Wow, I cannot find it. Oh, here. Whoa. Oh no, never mind. I have 250 videos on Space Engine. That's insane. I didn't know I had so many. Where is Kerbal Space Program? Uh-oh, I don't see it. Did I erase it by accident? I have this playlist that's called Kerbal Space Programming. Let me post it in the comments here. But so what I was thinking about Kerbal Space Program, and that's what I've been sort of developing in the last few weeks, is if I do end up streaming more, it's probably going to be just Kerbal Space. And just, things like, let's go and use programming to make a rocket like Elon Musk, or let's go and try to land somewhere where nobody else landed before. Although I'm sure Scott Manley landed everywhere. Scott Manley is the other space YouTuber who crossed 1 million subscribers a few months ago, I think. And he started with Kerbal Space, and he's done a great job with it. Anywho, so, yeah, Kerbal Space is coming back at some point. The problem, or the reason I don't use it as much now, is mostly because Kerbal Space Program is great for teaching orbital mechanics and for teaching rockets and engines. But as you probably know from some of the recent videos, I haven't really done a lot of content on that. Rockets are not my specialty. It's not something I'm very passionate about in terms of like engines and, propellants, whereas other YouTubers are. Thank you so much for the donation, Pats Fan 420. But yeah, Kerbal Space will come back at some point. Thank you, Useless Companion. Okay. Oh, here we go. Yay, got back to the original comments. How old am I? I'm old. I'm too old. I just turned 37. So yeah. Are you Russian? No. My family is from USSR. We immigrated to Canada a long time ago. And before Russia was Russia. And I think my mom was from Belarus. My dad was, I don't remember, Siberia somewhere. And I'm Canadian. I'm from Montreal. Originally. Now I live in Korea. So yeah. Okay. What could we learn from observing a black hole up close? That it's a good way to die, a fast way to die. I think one thing we can definitely learn is probably related to energy production. Spinning black holes, they're great because they produce this area around them called ergosphere. Let me show you what it kind of looks like. And this ergosphere is a really, really cool concept. I don't know if I can actually find something that's very good at explaining it. But this ergosphere is basically a kind of an area, or a volume technically, around a black hole that produces these unusual orbital effects. So technically you can actually orbit around this, but you'll be orbiting in the opposite direction. And on top of that, if you were like, let's just say you were a planet orbiting a black hole that's spinning really fast and produces ergosphere, you can actually, and I think someone even wrote a study about this, you can actually shoot a laser or like shoot any light into the ergosphere of this black hole, and it's going to come out from the other side of the ergosphere, but will have more energy than it came in. So you can produce energy that way. It's basically free energy. But the energy is coming from the black hole, so the ergosphere is slowly kind of draining some of the mass from the black hole, but it will obviously take a really long time to drain it completely. So that's one cool concept we can learn if we ever come close to the black holes. Okay. Huh, someone's trying to scare me. What's with the frozen woman behind you? Nice try. Nice try. I'm not that scared of things. Unless there was actually someone behind me. Maybe there was. Okay, so... okay, people are telling me I'm not old. I know I'm not old, but still, sometimes I feel old. Emmanuel Velikovsky said that Venus was very hot when the establishment scientists said it was about the same temperature as Earth. So David Smith is mentioning Emmanuel Velikovsky, a much older scientist. And yeah, it's actually very common in science for someone to suggest something that many people will say is not true, and then it turns out to be true. But you know, with certain things, especially in science today, I think over time we realize we cannot just simply take anyone's proposal at a given value. You can't just admit to, you know, like someone proposed an idea, like let's just say, oh yeah, you know, Titan has life. Yeah, there might be signs, but you cannot just agree to it right away. Scientific concepts today have come such a long way that we understand that you really need to pinpoint very specific signs and have enough evidence to support your argument. And it's more important today because we have social media, and now anyone can make any kind of proposal, especially if they have a lot of followers. They can say anything they want, and assuming that they have, I don't know, a degree from Harvard, people will believe them. And that's very unfortunate because, you know, there are a lot of people that, for example, went to my university that are not particularly good at making good statements that I would consider to be truth. And there's a lot of stuff going on in the world today where we really need to be careful about what we listen to. Simply because it's not really about what people say anymore. It's really about being able to critically think and listen and understand if, yeah, you know, that sounds cool, but is it really true though? So that's the question people should be asking. So even if someone says Venus is hot, yeah, cool idea, but how do you know, right? Where's the proof? Anyway, so scrolling through comments, trying to see something. Oh, I'm actually kind of learning to read really fast here. Is that someone asking me, so is my accent French? I think my accent is just mixed. It's a Montreal accent. If you ever been to Montreal, I think most people would not say that I have an accent because everyone has an accent. Everyone in Montreal speaks funny. Or at least we think we speak normally. We don't speak funny. You speak funny. What is the actual diameter of a black hole? So the black hole itself, the sort of, I guess, what you call singularity, we think is just really, really tiny. It's like Planck's length. It's the smallest length possible. But, you know, black holes, they have event horizon, which is the area where sort of information stops leaving, no light escapes. That can grow dramatically. That can be as small as, I think the smallest one is about a couple of kilometers or like a mile and a half. And then the biggest one we found so far was about 3 times larger than the solar system. That's how it is. Any truth in the electric universe? So that's what a lot of people ask me to make videos about electric universe, and I briefly looked into it, and it seems to be a convention of people going and meeting places and talking about how they don't believe in gravity and think that universe can be explained from electromagnetism perspective. I mean, I don't know enough about it, to be honest. I don't think there's a lot of scientific papers about it, but if I see something, I'll talk about it. But right now, it just doesn't sound too interesting. I mean, we know that electromagnetism is responsible for a lot of things, but you cannot discredit gravity. Gravity is a must. Have you ever met Neil deGrasse Tyson? No. I haven't actually met anyone like scientifically famous. The most famous person I have talked to in terms of like scientific perspective is actually was just a professor in my college. He was pretty well known back then. Now I don't think anybody knows him now. Is French my normal language? I don't think I actually have a mother tongue anymore. I used to speak fluent French. I used to speak fluent Russian. Then English was my third language. I actually learned English by playing video games when I was in middle school. And eventually, English replaced everything, mostly because that became my work language. I haven't spoken French in about 17 years, and I forgot most of it. Russian I speak a little bit because my father refuses to communicate in any other language. But yeah, I speak Russian a little bit better. Do you watch Isaac Arthur? I actually used to watch a lot of his videos, but now that I make my own videos on a similar topic, I feel like I only watch some of them, like just very, very few. Not because I don't like them, his videos are great, but I just honestly can take... There's a limit to how much space I can take per day, and I prefer to focus on other topics. Like I said previously, one of my hobbies is computer science, and so I do a lot of programming on the side. I like to make things. Like I recently have been working on this easy to make solution to pollution cleaning device, because Korea has a high pollution rate. And so I've kind of, I don't want to say invented, but I made this device that's really cheap to produce, to make. And it's a automated pollution cleaner for the house. I have a much smaller channel on technology where I'm going to be posting about it later. Cool. Let's keep going. All right. Do you think asteroid belt is a planet that was destroyed? No, not really. I think it's just leftover stuff. There's just no evidence that there was a planet there. That's what people used to think, but then we discredited that theory. The one reason, because, or one of the main proofs, is that it's not a destroyed planet is because we've gotten a lot of rocks from the asteroid belt, and they all seem to be completely different. So there is that. If this was a planet, it would have same consistency. Younger dryas impact. Of course, someone would ask about that. So I made a video that's probably the least popular video I've ever made, where I try to discredit this, but unsuccessfully. I would actually, so this one person I would really love to meet is actually not a YouTuber. There is a YouTuber who makes amazing archaeology videos, like mind-blowing. And I'm gonna promote his channel here. And he made a great video about young dryas theory. So in short, we don't know. His name is Stefan Milo, and I'm posting the video right here in the comments. So in short, I agree with exactly what he said. So yeah, there is some proof that, you know, there were comets and possibly asteroids landing on the planet Earth. So okay, what is younger dryas theory? First of all, for those of you not in the know. The idea here is that approximately 13,000 years ago, Earth experienced an unusual cooling event. And some scientists have been trying to prove for a very long time that this cooling was due to a cometary collision. We haven't found much proof in terms of like the actual crater, but they've been finding signs here and there. The only problem though, so far at least, is that a lot of these signs seem to have different time frame. And we're talking about like hundreds of years apart. So one of the reasons I still don't really truly subscribe to this as being an explanation that this was a cometary impact that suddenly lowered the temperature is because the signs they found around the world can also be seen today. We actually see the same collisions happening over the periods of hundreds of years. Like very recently, we had Chelyabinsk meteor that was something that would leave very similar marks to what they discovered. And 100 years ago, we had Tunguska meteor, same thing, right? 100 years before that, there was another one. So there were all of these meteors or comets we still get today. They leave exactly the same signs around the planet, and suggesting that this was responsible for sudden cooling of the planet, I don't see the evidence there yet. They do have a lot of support in terms of some things, but it's not like oh yeah, this is for sure. It's still not a fact. Far from it, as a matter of fact. There are still a lot of situations. So my thoughts on Younger Dryas right now is that it was maybe not a comet. It was something else, but we don't know it. It's a cool theory though. It's really interesting. During this period, what's really important to understand about human society is that we actually transitioned a little bit, specifically in the Middle East, from being like, I think it was from being hunter-gatherers to being more agricultural because of the changes in the climate. So this was in some sense important to human development. And then in the North American region, I think it actually changed the society also. There was one part of society that kind of disappeared, although we think they just moved somewhere, and then the other part became more prominent. It's a cool theory though. It's really, really cool. Okay, so I keep taking so long to answer every question, but I like to be thorough. All right, so let's read through some of this. What is the name of your technology-related channel? It's actually my technology channel, which is still very, very in its infancy. I still don't have much there. It's called Anton Petrov Technology. That's that simple. Maybe I'll post it later. I still haven't really made that many videos for it, and I will eventually. But right now, one channel is a lot of work, so 2 channels is even more work. Why telescopes cannot get images of Pluto similar to what New Horizons got? You may have missed where I explained this like half an hour ago, but basically to take a good picture of something, you actually need a really, really large lens. So to take a good picture of Pluto, we would need a lens, I think it would have to be at least size of planet Earth. It's just a question of photography. If you ever start doing photography professionally, you'll start learning about how the size of lens actually sort of changes things. And in this case, for a telescope, the bigger the lens, the more accuracy you get. Okay. Oh, someone is saying they've been watching Stefan Milo for a year. Yeah, I love that guy. Stefan Milo is great. I'm secretly trying to copy his style of videos. He's doing such a great job. Can you read this? Yes, I can. DCBJ 2011. Someone is telling me to go to sleep. I actually, right now for me, it's 3 p.m. So I'm fine. My family is actually waiting for me though. They've already messaged me a few times. So I think I'm going to log out in maybe 10 minutes or so. Cool. Could you make more videos about Saturn and Enceladus? I will. Saturn is my favorite environment. I like Saturn moons. I like Titan a lot. So definitely coming in the future. Okay, so people are telling me they're about to fall asleep. I'm sorry. Am I that boring? I guess I am. For someone who wants to make a difference in the world, what's your best advice you have? Think about it, please. Oh, difference in the world. So, the question that requires a very, very thorough answer. I feel like today, most people, and I'm really thinking about the students who I taught and who graduated and who are now basically functioning adults working. The biggest problem they had was overthinking and also over planning, over anticipating, and just, well, how do I put this? They were idealistic. They were not doers. Anyone who wants to make a difference in the world really just needs to start. Like, just erase everything from your mind and just go and start doing stuff. And this is something that someone told me back when I was unemployed during the recession, actually. They're like, well, if you can't really find a job, why don't you just make one yourself? Start doing stuff. And eventually it took a few years to realize that they were right. So I think to make a difference, just start somewhere And then eventually, as you meet people, as you interact with people, as you do things, your thoughts will form themselves, and you'll realize that, oh, hey, this is cool. Maybe I should be doing this more often. This is actually helping someone. But you need to start somewhere, and it needs to be small enough for you to see the effects. So don't like start on some adventure to, like they usually used to do, Africa, to go and feed the children who they need to be fed. Oh, obviously you can do that, but start somewhere where you can, maybe even in your own environment, where you can actually see the difference right away. That is really important. Or so someone else asking, why is Oort cloud there? It's just leftovers. Oort cloud is the leftovers from the early solar system. And if you ever play with Universe Sandbox, if you ever like place an object, I wonder if my computer can handle this right now because of the stream. If I ever place a massive enough object somewhere in the middle here, like Jupiter, another Jupiter, it will eventually actually start kicking out everything. And this everything will end up in the, like you can see one of them, this Pallas. Pallas has already, I think, got kicked out a little bit. All of these objects will eventually end up on the outskirts, and that's essentially Oort cloud. It's the result of massive objects orbiting around the sun and kicking everything out. Okay, next question. Does the frequency of gamma rays from a black hole indicate the black hole's mass? I don't think it does. So gamma rays, as they come close to the black hole or come from within the black hole, will change their frequency a little bit, and we can kind of maybe tell this with the redshift, but I don't think it's enough to tell the mass of the black hole. There's a very thorough investigation of black hole mass. It usually involves a lot of particles in the accretion disk. Okay, so people are asking me what's the name of my tech channel. I think it's actually just called Anton Petrov Technology and Programming. I think that's it. If you can't find it, it's probably because it's super tiny. It is super, super tiny. Like, insignificant. And I haven't made a video in about a year. Mostly because it's hard. But I do want to keep making them. I love computer stuff. Okay, Stefan Calvin is asking, in an annular solar eclipse, more or less... is an annual solar eclipse more or less rate than a total solar eclipse? Is an annual solar eclipse caused by the moon being closer to Earth? Or the Earth being farther from the sun? Oh, well, okay. I think I get what you're asking. So in general, eclipses... So there are two things you need to know about eclipses. The only reason we have solar eclipse, or eclipses, is it eclipses? Eclipsi. Is actually because, luckily, the moon, so moon is about 400 times closer to the sun, to Earth than the sun. Okay, that's good enough. And it just so happens that it's also 400 times smaller in size, and it basically matches the sun directly. But the reason we get the annual eclipses so much is related to the inclination of orbits. I might be able to show it to you here, if I'm correct. So it's related to the inclination, like basically how orbits are aligned if you look from the side. And so sometimes you get partial eclipse, sometimes you get full eclipse, sometimes you get no eclipse. And, I think what we can do is, let's do this. Let's see if we can maybe add... Can we add the moon to this? How do you do it? Oh yeah, like this, right? There's a button here somewhere. Add moons. Okay, here's the moon. So now, if you look at the orbits... it's kind of difficult to see, but see how the moon's orbit is inclined this way? And it's not entirely in line with the sun. So that kind of explains why sometimes certain eclipses are different. Because moon is not always in the same alignment to the sun. Sometimes it's a little bit above the sun, sometimes it's a little below. Hopefully that explains it. I'm not sure if this is what you were asking, Stefan. I'm sorry if this is not it. But yeah, that is the eclipses. Eclipsi. Okay, I probably missed a bunch of questions while I explain this. Scrolling up. Oh yeah, I'm also very, very excited about the next 50 years. Well, the climate change is maybe not so exciting, but the Mars exploration and a lot of other stuff, like Neuralink and AI, that's all Elon Musk's creations. I hope that we get somewhere with this. I'm not sure what's going to happen with Elon Musk because he's been making a lot of unusual and funny comments, but I guess we'll see what happens. And oh, I closed the window. Oopsie, I accidentally closed the comments. Let me open it up again. So here we go. What did I miss? Cool. All right. I hope your channel becomes even bigger over time. Maybe you can collaborate with people like Neil deGrasse Tyson. Oh my God, useless companion. First of all, thank you for the 50 euros, but also, if he even knows who I am, I would be very happy. But honestly, so Neil deGrasse Tyson, as I mentioned previously, was someone I did not know about until I was in my mid-20s, simply because of my upbringing. You know, growing up in Montreal in the French-Canadian culture with Soviet, Russian, Ukrainian, Belarusian parents, they don't teach you these things. And so I only discovered about Neil deGrasse when I was in college in one of my classes. I knew about Stephen Hawking. I knew about... Actually, no, that's it. I didn't even know who Brian Cox was. I didn't really know anyone. Mostly because, you know, the culture in Montreal is so much different. It's a different world. But yeah, it would be cool to one day at least meet him, talk to him. I watched one of his recent streams recently, and oh my God, he got really old. And I'm sorry if you're watching this, Neil, but I hope you stay healthy long. Yeah, he has gray hair, which I do too, but he has more. But yeah, cool. What do I think about Starshot breakthrough? Will it be successful in my opinion? Honestly. So I think honestly it's going to be never happening. Mostly because I have not heard them say anything about it in the last 2 years. There were no updates, and judging by what we've achieved so far with that project, I'm afraid maybe it might never happen. It was a great project though. It was a project to try to send probes to Alpha Centauri using lasers as a propulsion, but I don't know, it just doesn't look so good so far. There were literally no updates so far. Like they're doing some other things. They're not doing exactly things related to the probe project, but they're not doing anything related to the actual lasers. Like for example, we have no laser set up anywhere. Like what are we gonna use? So might not happen. So okay then. Oh, someone's saying early goodbye. Thank you, the blank state. Good night to you as well. Okay, next question. Oh, thank you for the donation. Laughing Disease. Oh, what a interesting nickname. Cool. What am I thinking about Voyager 1 data being transmitted back? Well, it's interesting. I mean, we've learned a lot about the interstellar space from that data, so it's definitely still important. But both Voyager probes have been in space for a very long time, more than most of us were alive. And so people working on the Voyager probes now, they were actually not even alive when the probes launched. So yeah, so it's something it's cool, it's interesting, but at the same time, I feel like the actual mission is going to end anytime soon because the probes are basically on their last pieces of energy. They work through the well, essentially nuclear power, kind of, for lack of better explanation, and it's barely even supporting basic functions. Why can't we go under Earth from space? Huh? You mean like you jump from space into Earth? I mean, we can, but why? It'd be kind of deadly, no? Cool. Oh yeah, my other channel is called Coding in Tech. I'm sorry, thank you. Yeah, that's it. Anton Petrov, Coding in Tech. Cool. Someone found my channel. So Robert, get down to the US for a SpaceX launch, and then I want see some Kerbal gameplay. Kerbal space program is definitely happening. The SpaceX launch, probably not. And I found out about this in a very funny way. Apparently, unless you're an American citizen, you're not allowed to visit most of the launch locations, even if you have like a special permission. I don't know if this changed recently, but a few years ago I looked into it and they said no. They basically said, no, you're not an American, cannot come, because those are government facilities mostly. I can actually, surprisingly, I can visit JPL, basically one of the biggest scientific facilities related to space studies, but I cannot visit a launch facility. And also with a Slavic Eastern European name, it makes it even harder. So it's a security thing. Same thing with China, actually. I've been, for the past few years, I've been desperately trying to find someone in China to talk to about their space program. And even though I found one person through a friend in China, they not only cannot, they do not want to talk. They'll get in trouble, and there's just so much secrecy. So yeah. Okay, so Useless Companion is talking about someone who they didn't know about, but someone who became a male stripper, almost became a male stripper. Are you talking about Brian Cox? I had no idea. But I mean, I can see it. He's a very attractive human specimen. But yeah, there's a lot of cool people that are doing science, science education, that is. But unfortunately, a lot of them are also getting old. So, you know, we need to have younger people start the same thing. I personally believe science education and science communication is exceptionally important, especially today and especially in other languages. So if you do speak a language that is not English or I guess French, there's some French educators. Well, actually, that's it. I know there's Italian educators that are really good. If you speak, like for example, Spanish, we need to have a lot of Spanish science educators. There are some really good Portuguese ones. But in terms of like just education in different languages, it's really important. And so do start something. It's a good opportunity to start a channel where you talk about, or not a channel, just anything, where you talk about science in different languages. Stefan says, you should do a video on annular eclipses. Oh, okay. Oh, you're talking about the corona. Okay, so, yeah, okay. Do a video about eclipses when there's a light visible around the moon instead of just a corona. I think I'll probably try to see if it happens sometime soon, and then maybe there will be a video about it. Although normally, at least in the last few months, I've been trying to focus on just the recent discoveries. But we'll probably do something about it once I find enough info. Okay, next question, comment or concern. Why? So okay. Eric Newt is asking, can you explain why it would be hard to escape from the cosmic plane? What's a cosmic plane? From the cosmic plane? Do you mean the solar plane, like the solar system? I'm not sure if I know what cosmic plane is. I'm sorry. Will space elevators ever be practical? So there are surprisingly a lot of studies on space elevators. The last one was, I believe, from Japan, where they really kind of developed the theory really well. So we have the theory. We have pretty much everything set up for space elevators, I cannot say it. Why can't I say it? Elevators to work. And the current technology, specifically the technology when it comes to threads required to have the actual thread pulling the elevator, is only capable of doing, where's my moon? What happened to my moon? Is only capable of doing an elevator that would work on the moon, or basically going from, you know, the orbit of the moon to the surface of the moon. We don't have threads that are able to sustain the weight from Earth, because Earth has high gravity. Now, okay, we have certain particles we can produce that have really strong, it's called tensile strength, the strength of, you know, not being able to break. But unfortunately, we cannot make them in large enough amounts, cheaply enough, to be a sustainable business. I think the longest one they made was like about this long, and it was really expensive. It was like close to $1 million to make. So space elevators theoretically are totally possible, and it's actually a really, really cool eventual concept hopefully we'll introduce, but right now it's just not feasible from the perspective of the actual molecules, materials. We don't have them yet. Okay, Moving on. Moving on. Do I ever watch stupid, silly videos on YouTube? Mostly when it comes to videos about dogs, or really any animals doing stupid things. I watch a lot of animal videos. I'm a really, really big animal person. Okay. Antrej Stormrider. Anton, given that there will come a time in the future where the heliopause is inside Pluto's orbit, can we expect any impact on it from the increased exposure to the extrasolar radiation? Wow, that's a really cool question. Okay. So, I don't think we actually know enough about interstellar radiation just yet to know what kind of a impact it will have. But chances are it's not going to change that much. Like, for example, if a planet has a magnetic field, it will probably protect the object from that radiation. However, I guess if it's Pluto that doesn't have magnetic field, it might actually make it more red. I think that's what's going to happen. The increase in radiation will most likely expose the organic molecules on the surface. Can I find Pluto here? Pluto is one of the most beautiful objects. So it will most likely just turn it more red. And here we go. So you see how it's red here? Well, it might become more brownish, more red. I mean, that's just a guess right now. We probably need to think about this longer, but it's a cool question. Peter, do you think helical drive for an interstellar ship that you talked about in the video might work if we solve fusion? So the helical drive is a super controversial study, mostly because it may have violated certain laws of physics that we don't know if it would ever work. But if, hypothetically speaking, it is something that can work, then fusion might help. Fusion might help, but I don't think it'd still be enough. The amount of energy we produce through fusion or fission, which is atomic energy, is still really not enough to have like an actual sustainable functioning aircraft that can produce some crazy effects. But you never know. So I would say maybe. Okay. Moving on. Whoa, catching up. Scrolling through comments. Oh, so why is it hard to escape the orbital plane? So, I think the question is, why is it difficult to move away from this plane? So that's actually where Kerbal Space Program comes in really handy, because you realize that for an object, like let's just take Jupiter, for an object to change orbital plane, to actually change the orbital inclination, which I can do easily through magic of video games, if I find it. Where is it? Oh, that's not it. Oh, that's not it. Oh, that's also not it. Oh boy, I don't see it. Inclination. Oh, here. No, that's not it. What? Oh, it doesn't have it. Strange. Oh, it's a different button. Okay, here we go. So, for an object to change this, let's just say a satellite, technically. For an actual satellite to do this, it requires a tremendous amount of energy, tremendous amount of fuel. So it's almost impossible for objects to change planes. It's very difficult, which is why, like, when we launch a satellite, like from Earth, when we launch a satellite that, for example, needs to orbit this way, in the polar orbit, as opposed to this way, you would actually want to launch it from a very specific location and pointing in a certain way, because there's no way you can just go from this to this in terms of orbits. It requires way more energy to do that than it requires for the satellite to reach the orbit. As far as I remember, it's very close to that. A lot of energy required. So orbital dynamics are actually pretty interesting, but pretty complex. Okay. Okay. I would like to see a video on quantized inertia. I made a video about quantized inertia. James Leroy. Thank you for the donation. So James, I actually met the person who quantized the inertia. He came here because his wife is Korean, and so we had a little chat about it. And I made a video about it. I don't know if I truly subscribe to that idea. It's a pretty cool theory, but there is a video about it. If you look up quantized inertia, I guess plus Anton, you'll find my video about it. It's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool idea, but I still don't know about it. He's a cool guy though, so yeah. Do we have technology to test nuclear fusion in space? Yeah, we do. And we have tested nuclear fusion in space. There's actually nuclear reactors orbiting around us currently that were left there by the Russians. And also I think there's a couple from the US as well. I may have made a video about it. There might be a video called Nukes in Space or something like that. I think there's about 30 of them. They're still around. Can time go backwards? Mathematically, yes. Realistically, physically, probably not. And as we discovered recently, most likely not. Time may not be reversible. Cosmic plane might be the Higgs field. Is it? Higgs field is Higgs field, no? Higgs field is a really cool discovery. I mean, the fact that we confirmed the existence of Higgs boson basically transformed physics. Didn't transform everyone else's life. No, most people didn't care about it. But it actually finally allowed us to confirm the existence of everything we thought existed. Higgs field, in an essence, is the kind of a, I guess you can imagine it as a kind of a plane of existence that causes certain things to have mass and certain things to not have mass. And the way it does it is by literally having these little particles that we call bosons, Higgs bosons, that's what they discovered back in 2012, to, in essence, kind of stick to particles. And if they stick to the particle, they kind of hold it back and they give it mass. And if they don't stick to it, then it has no mass. It's a pretty cool explanation to the idea of mass. Are you a full-time YouTuber or do you do something else? So in the last year and a half, I took a break from teaching full-time and I sort of, I guess, became full-time YouTuber. But I also help a lot, my family with their stuff. So I do work outside as well. But yeah, I do depend on Patreon donations quite a lot, in a sense. So YouTubing has become my only personal sort of financial investment. Or no, not investment. That's the wrong word. Income. That's the word I was looking for. Okay. Oh, okay. Those reactors in space are fission, not fusion. Yeah, sorry, did I say fusion? Oh, it was my mistake. There are no fusion reactors in space, and we don't actually have fusion reactors on Earth that are good enough to function yet, as far as I know. There are some recent papers that show that maybe they've acquired a way to produce fusion sustainably, but I haven't heard anything substantial yet. And if we put them into space, they will probably not work right now. Okay, yeah, someone is reminding me, don't I have a family to attend to? You're right, I need to actually finish this up soon. So I'm gonna give myself exactly 5 minutes to maybe answer one last comment concern. And then I wish you farewell. And there's going to be another video coming out tomorrow, of course. I do not remember what it's about, but it's also going to be a surprise. Mostly because I just don't remember. The video today was about Fermi bubbles. If you haven't checked it out yet, check it out. It's a recent confirmation that Fermi bubbles, the things that look like this. We discovered this a few years back. These unusual bubbles sticking out from inside our galaxy turn out to be signs of this ancient explosion. So this was we kind of suspected it, but this was another confirmation that there are definitely signs that something exploded in the middle of the galaxy 5 million years ago, and actually turn our galaxy into an active galactic nuclei galaxy that may have looked like this. Typing is difficult when you're not seeing the buttons. Oh no, that's not it. There. Here. This is a nearby galaxy known as Centaurus A. And the Milky Way may have sort of looked like this for a while, 5 million years ago. Now the question now is, of course, you know, has it had any influence on life here on the planet? And I really hope some of the scientists studying you know, rocks and fossils look into this, because it'd be interesting to find out if it actually had any effect on life on the planet. The amount of radiation it produced was probably pretty intense. Cool. All right. So, on that note, let me see if I missed anything super important. Oh, thank you so much for your Patreon support. Lysergic Acid 52. Interesting nickname. What if we make telescopes like structures on other planets' moons? Isn't that a good idea? It's a great idea, but it's hard. It's very expensive. We just don't have the technology for it yet. Okay. Okay. I should do this again sometime. Yeah, I think I will, but I don't know when yet. I don't know when yet because this is, for me, time-wise, time zone-wise, this is difficult. You know, for a lot of you right now in the US, it's like late. For those of you in Europe, it's really early, and it's hard for me to align this in a time zone where I can actually do this easily. And also when I'm not sleeping myself. All right, so honestly, I think I'm gonna stop this here. My family is really waiting for me now, and I need to go. But thank you so much for all your support, everyone. I really appreciate all of the support over the years. It's been, you know, it's been a long journey. It's been hard. It's not an easy journey, but it was fun, and I'm always surprised to hear and sort of see the effects this has on some people, especially people that either are finding themselves in a difficult situation or people that just like to learn. And I love how so many parents have been sending me emails and sending me messages saying how their kids love learning about this kind of stuff. So that's kind of what I do. I'm definitely going to be doing this for, well, I guess, as long as YouTube allows me to. There might be a chance that YouTube just says, okay, we've had enough of you. Please proceed to the door. Proceed to the exit. But until then, I'll probably be making these videos. Whether I ever have 1 million subs, I mean, it's not really that important. And it's not about numbers. It's not a count. But it's important for me to just keep people motivated and to keep people asking questions about life. And most importantly, you know, being able to critically think about things in life that unfortunately nowadays is even more important than ever before. On that note, so space out, and as always, bye-bye. I'm gonna go and finally have my lunch. I haven't eaten yet. Best of luck to you. Stay healthy, stay safe. You know, these are really hard times for a lot of us. Nobody expected this to happen. Nobody knew that we're gonna be stuck in quarantine. But you know, it happened. Let's do the best we can, and let's make it worth it. You know, there's so much stuff you can learn right now because you're probably stuck at home. Just go and learn something. Go check out the website I mentioned before, edx.com, or sorry, edx.org is it. You can learn so much stuff from these guys. edx.org is the free education website where you can pretty much learn whatever you want to learn. But anyway, on that note, I'll see you tomorrow in another video, and space out. And as always, bye-bye. And also, I don't actually know how to turn this off. Oh, there's a button. Oh, I found it.